get interviewed.
Well, let's see.
And I am getting my answers ready.
Is it going to be?
I want to be prepared.
Can you imagine?
So you guys have to keep watching when I get interviewed.
Takes us to Hell's Heaven. You would not be happy if you're RAD and it's Krakoa.
Okay, Krakoa, this is fairly even between the two of them. I imagine we get into our first ban phase here. And yeah, looks like RAD are gonna follow in the footsteps of Virtus Pro and say, absolutely, Ken cannot be John Loki.
Well, let's see if forever PATAPIM fries Naga's Human Torch as much as they wanted to deny Fires. No! Human Torch.
Good luck, Jay. Oh, it's fine. I just wanted to remember the team names.
I feel like
that's
you
all.
might
I'm
actually
bad with team names,
saving
chat.
the torch early on.
Might be the call here.
Yo, Milani for 19
Naga
months.
play
Appreciate
that.
it. Appreciate it.
Polly and Pokey, do you have to ban the Psylocke already, though, is the question. Like,
yeah, I think you go Luna, though.
Oh, okay. Makes sense,
because
yeah.
The Psylocke will still come through, and then you can save the Emma so that you can have Carbon Crush to deal with either the Cap or the Psylocke. But Berber PATAPIM do not get to go into the free ban phase, which means that Human Torch might be off the menu.
Yep. Loki, likely we see Luna taken off the
How are these teams? I haven't seen them play yet. Both of these teams are in the finals of EMEA, so both teams are really good.
Utilizing their own Black Panther in the back pocket.
Both teams were able to beat Virtus Pro, which happens to be the best team in EMEA. So
really prioritizing having that one-sided cloak and dagger, which they utilized against Virtus Pro, and then Virtus Pro started utilizing against every other team that they ran into as well. As RAD and I get the opportunity to block a hero band from Berber PATAPIM. What is the call to be? Captain America for them, so Rajara is going to be able to run out on that one, though they don't have the Psylocke to back them up.
Oh, question is, do you need to... Yeah, we anticipate the Human Torch ban here, but maybe you have to pivot over to banning a strategist from the enemy. To be fair, I don't know if Berber PATAPIM are too concerned. They've been getting so much value out of Ken playing Rocket when they're in these weird scenarios.
It's the Adam, though. RAD have been liking to play res composition. Berber PATAPIM likely going to be trying to force RAD as
how do these bans work? I'm so confused. The bans work by you ban what you don't want the other team to play, and you save for yourself. So what you see right here that you might think is very confusing is that actually no team really did it. I could ban Loki and save Loki as well, so that means that you can't play Loki, but I save Loki for my team, so you can't ban it. So if that makes any sense.
The correct choice to go for.
Certainly would make some sense. Yeah, getting rid of... You cannot allow the Captain America Psylocke to go through from Polly and Pokey. Still, Pokey's been getting a lot of value thus far out of the Punisher, so this is far from broken here for Berber PATAPIM. RAD opening up with a fairly confident draft.
Yeah, RAD could potentially pivot too. We saw that the Mantis came out for the side of Berber with that protection. They might play it. They could go for the 12% damage boost to have the better break point and the faster burn through if a Punisher Final Judgment mirror comes out from the side. But Storm is also on the table for both of these teams. We didn't get to see it at all in the previous season, but a lot of these teams in EMEA have been liking to pair the Punisher up with the Storm for the 12% boost off of the Goddess boost cooldown. Rads, however, have been liking to put Melio on the Ultron to be able to pocket the Human Torch with the Imperative.
All right, chat, let's see this. This is a best of 7, by the way. This is a best of 7.
So
whoever wins this gets $70,000. Second place gets $30,000.
Map here.
Not the greatest of maps for flyers to come on for, given that there are a lot of annoying ceilings to dodge around, which can put you a little bit too close to an Emma Frost's Carbon Crush. Berber PATAPIM actually going to be playing Ken on the Rocket Raccoon, which we've seen come through from time to time, just having the BRB to out-sustain Rad's numbers.
All right, Culling turret already set up in a very dangerous position. Actually,
yo, your board, your BF will. He's not the prime.
Of that Culling turret was the Aegis took most of the damage. Seems like there's going to be an exchange of fire on the point as Berber PATAPIM are making a full-bodied rotation over there. Naga just getting constantly suppressed. Does have that snowflake though coming through. Oh, Enzo, great accuracy there. Hits the iron volley and the right click as well. The mag cannon delivering. Melio's getting super aggressive over here, trying to back up Naga, and it's going to be fully punished by Polly.
Yeah, Rajara is not able to find the inn either currently. They were really trying to box PATAPIM into a small room with just the fires coming on through from the Human Torch, but it's not to be, and the fight goes now on to point with Brawl. But PATAPIM have the better numbers, and they've already got the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier built up too. So this is going to be a fast retreat from RAD, an early point cap for PATAPIM.
Cosmic Yarn Amplifier is going to mean that Crux ult may end up being a little bit aesthetic in terms of the amount of healing it does.
Not if they pair it with Melios, which is a lineup that we traditionally see when the Mantis and the Ultron ult at the same time, so that you can then utilize all of the damage boosts onto both your Human Torch and the Ultron themselves.
Croc already taken down. Tanuki grabs that one early right there. Maybe a feral leap just took them well out of the area of effects of the rest of their roster. Oh, an attempt to try and chase down a Human Torch with Captain America. It's a little bit ambitious, but it still keeps Naga on notice.
Yeah, Tanuki gets to just take full advantage of the lack of Magneto and also Invis Woman on the side of RAD. Doesn't matter that you're not grabbing a Vanguard, you're separating the Mantis and the Ultron, so RAD couldn't utilize either role in the past.
All right, Supernova from the back half for now. Pokey gonna take a lot of damage.
Did VP win any money? Yes.
You can't risk taking.
I don't know how much.
However, two ultimates already been. Tanuki traced himself out there. Classic from Hell's Heaven.
Oh,
nice
25,000.
from RAD. Great understanding of the tempo. Unable to connect onto Melio with the Meteor M there, and Enzo just can't get it done. Alex gets resurrected in the back by the Battle Recall Beacon, and now it's Melio's turn to rain fire. The range
Did you even
of Ultron
sleep?
certainly is
No.
raining plenty of it. Trying to put that mostly onto the Vanguards, but inside of its invisible boundary, PATAPIM are feeling nice and pretty. The princesses now have their castle broken into.
PATAPIM looks like they're still on that high from winning, chat. They're still on that high.
They're able to lay down a lot of suppressing fire. That's Naga who's able to deal with it rather quickly.
Damn.
And yet to turn around the control of this point as Enzo just taps in on the edge.
Tanuki's gonna have last stand. Pokey, another final judgment. It's up to the Human Torch to try and clear them off of it, but Tanuki's been able to find the Mantis, and that means no sleep, CC. You can go for the back line, and the entire team just falls under the focus that is the Wolverine. RAD were able at least.
Wow, dude, the Wolverine gameplay, man.
But it feels like it's just temporary measures.
Oh, I forced out the Ice Arts from Fate. Remember, there was no CC available in the form of the Absolute Zero to try and stop Tanuki and Polly from running them down. And that was one last chance for RAD to try and contest. I don't know if they're going to be swapping over here onto a Doctor Strange. I don't think they've got the time to try and do so. It's going to be down. Oh, what a push.
Oh, my.
Things.
Yeah, Alex gets the Force Physics to connect onto the Captain America, and RAD get no opportunity to go for the
Not a good start for RAD so far, chat. Not a good start for RAD.
Managing to grab Carousel in such a dominant fashion.
Rad's gonna need to wake up, man. Rad's gonna need to wake up.
Coming on through when PATAPIM's heads were turned.
Turn your head around and you will get punished for it. PATAPIM, as anticipated, starting off strong here on domination.
There's just no high damage output coming on through from RAD if they don't have the space. If they lose first fight, Melio and Naga on the Ultron and the Human Torch can do nothing into the pressure that Pokey can output on a set up and established Punisher. And it means that for PATAPIM, when Final Judgment came out, they never actually had to utilize a Strategist Ultimate to safeguard it. So even though RAD were on triple Strategists, PATAPIM could still hold on to the Ultimates and match.
Mad if they're able to match those, to be honest. Tanuki getting a bunch of value here, even against very evasive Vanguards. Oh, contemplate it. Naga's safe for now, though.
Yeah, Wolverine, not the greatest opponent into the Human Torch, but he's going to go for the portal to get higher, and he gets the feral grab onto the Human Torch, and Naga is snuffed out like a light.
Oh, holy cinema. Oh my goodness. The Marvel Studios writers, they're going to be stealing that one away. Tanuki, just a choreographer for future X-Men movies.
You know, sometimes we see some really smart plays around the portals on Cradle. The Atom reses for the portal so that everyone is safe even more than 30 meters away from him. But that one, like you said, was absolute cinema. And it was horrible news for RAD too, because they were relying on the prospect of Supernova stopping PATAPIM from grouping up and helping the Punisher.
Flying, I don't recall asking. Enzo, just able to watch over here, knows that that teleporter is not active yet. However, hello, a little bit of a tail coming through from Naga. Poki's already received the information that they are going to be under siege. Can, of course, become CC immune by using their final judgment, meaning they're unbothered about the Psionic Seduction. And now it's a big investment coming through from RAD already. They've used both the Psionic Seduction and the Soul Resurgence, but they can't move forward because they're too scared of the damage coming through from the Punisher. A big overwhelming of the Meteor enemies has to be thrown out quickly before Enzo can really contemplate the target. This Mantis needs some help, though, in the back, and Enzo's happy to put them to bed. A quick sleepy time is given over by the Iron Volley. Naga grabbed yet again. It's got to be
sorry,
so
chat. I was watching this whole time. I just had to deal with Boba real quick.
This anti-Vanguard presence knock you down as a
I wasn't gone. I saw them popping off. I just had to deal with Boba.
RAD tends to win.
Okay, finally, RAD are in control of the point.
Bro, Jay3, you missed something. Apparently, Wolverine is a flyer now.
Easily be a 50% surpassment. They do have to consider.
I mean, we saw that with Terra yesterday, chat.
Of the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier, as well as the prospect of that last stand, scooping someone out of reach from a defensive ultimate, either from Fate or Rajaro. You're going to be keeping the Punisher at bay. The Pyro Prison zoning Poki's angles out, but he's still trying to build up to the next final judgment as Berber PATAPIM peel for the Punisher.
Naga's disengagement angles may be a little bit limited here if they're not careful. Still has the option to dive on in and do extra damage if need be. That's a big grab coming through from Tanuki, and there we go yet again. Crook and Melio overwhelm the
dude, I need to learn Wolverine, bro.
And the flames of Tanuki drags
yeah, and that Wolverine pull was just, that was smart, chat. That was actually really smart, like, going down knowing that the TP was there and takes you to the high ground. That was really smart, bro.
To chase down Alex Poki falls as well, and RAD, they hold strong despite the early picks.
Yeah, once Tanuki and Poki go down, the damage potential for Berber PATAPIM plummets exponentially. There's going to be a couple of late picks as well coming on first so that RAD can get as much point percentage as possible from that last fight. Trust me, is going to have Psionic Seduction, so too is Supernova going to be in play. All of that is going to be utilized in reaction to Final Judgment, either before the Punisher gets the opportunity to press the ultimate or when he's midway using it.
Hopefully RAD wins this.
Trust me, the Sonic Seduction to try and play with.
Hopefully RAD wins this, chat, so we can go to a match 3.
Still, the invisible boundary is going to be everything you need to try and survive this one. All eyes onto the battle recall beacon. Naga's going to be prioritizing that one. Melio's in so much danger right now. You are not going to match the damage of the Punisher. Franklin Castle punishes you for the audacity to rage in front of him. That's my Wolverine's job and nobody else's. But when it comes to rage being a raid upon a player, it's Naga who's able to put out the most damage here. Rajaro just domineering over the point, still has to worry about the freedom charge coming through from Polly. Enzo floats above it all, might decide to go after the back line, but it's a good dodge away there. Fate's just absolutely flummoxed Enzo here. Naga doing their best to dodge away, has to deal with the Seer, a lot of extra damage, but it's not going to stay around for long. Fate's finally chased on down. Naga needs to be taken off this angle. A quick poke back from Poki with the teleport, and well, trust me, he's managed to make it onto the point. Should be able to get a carbon crush kick to keep Poki at arm's
I actually do hope
Tanuki
RAD wins this fight.
From the auspices of the Captain America, it seems like the target focus right now is starting to fail Berber PATAPIM. RAD is just working the margins, and it's given them time enough here to get the freedom charge.
RAD are coming back. They're trying to hold on to this as long as they possibly can. The freedom charge is stalling. Alex goes down before Invis Boundary can come on through. Fate's about to have potentially another Fate of both worlds too, which is going to land even more stall. And
I need to learn Wolverine, man. Oh my god. Oh, poor Fate. That's actually really big for Berber PATAPIM because he actually solo ulted him, and Fate had ult, bro.
Good ult tracking there onto Fate, but it does mean that
he had ult, dude.
Might be lacking.
Yeah, just prevent the cast from coming on through entirely. Last fight for Berber PATAPIM. RAD at least do still have the fate of
Jesus
both
Christ, the
worlds.
cat just took a shit, chat. Oh my.
To amp up the damage coming on through from the Supernova. Looks like they're going to be contemplating about taking that teleport once all of the players are regrouped to potentially find a surprise pick onto Berber PATAPIM's backline.
Oh, once again, grabbed by Tanuki. The jump scares are real, and they can hurt you. Tanuki grabbed up by the Carbon Crush. Extra damage coming through from the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier. Level 1 Crook won't be long for this world, even with the extra healing coming through from Fate.
Oh!
The choice is good. Melio struck by a surface to
oh, he's happy about that one, chat. You saw that? He leaned back in his chair and he put it. He went.
Claim
he said, "I am
LeBron."
LeBron."
Be a little bit good. You know, just
I
a little,
am
the
LeBron.
was perfect in that fight. Just being able to catch Fate before Fate of Beaufort's can come through, and then hearing the sign cue of the teleporter going off, being able to find a grab onto the human torch.
That is crazy.
Supernova can come into the
that
mix,
is crazy, bro. The fact that BRR PATAPIM won that series last round and then managed to take the first map of the grand finals here. Look at that team, chat. Look at that team. 23-4, 14-1, 20-3.
The Strange is going to be losing.
That was a good game, bro.
When Carbon Crush is
and they are an unsigned team, chat. They are an unsigned team. That's crazy.
Of a team that's relying on, you know, Invis and Rocket, almost a Team Rocket heals. I mean, I'm Team Rocket after watching Ken play it, but isn't the greatest throughput for triage. Let's quick look at our highlight reel, and I imagine a lot of it is going to be Tanuki.
I mean, Tanuki is blasting off again. It's essentially how Cradle opened up, being able to just go like, okay, wait a minute. I can't get uppies off of a fastball to get the height to try
sign
and
them, Jay. Bro, chat.
With the human torch, I'll give myself uppies.
Who do you guys think I am?
The teleporter. And poor Naga learns the hard way what happens when Wolverines can fly.
Literally off the top rope. There's no other way to put it. Pokey still getting so much value out of a Punisher. And now you got to pick your poison if you're Team RAD. You need to start dealing with the Punisher ban as well. Are you going to allow Pokey access to that Psylocke? I feel like this was fairly close. Team RAD definitely have a workable strategy here, and their sustainability was not to be underestimated. But in the end, Tanuki just gets so much value out of this Wolverine.
Yeah, I feel like the pivot might be the Wolverine. I feel like the pivot needs to be the Wolverine, because Tanuki,
neither of them have a true star player like Tap or Sparky.
And not finding picks, he's still the presence that you're having to worry about. The entire composition.
I mean, they might not have a star player, but that just means that just shows you how great their team coordination and team play is.
And once we're in control
of the
space, we can then use things
like teams who are
and the Human Torch being up in the sky, getting
like
that
just better cohesion are better than like the teams who have like one star player who's just crazy that pops off.
And force him out off of just
I feel like having the whole team be very consistent is better than that one guy. What's up?
Were just permanently forced
Did I say something wrong? My bad.
Punisher culling turret, Punisher alone, or Tanuki.
I'm sorry.
His mere existence.
Yeah, Tanuki with jump scares. They come thick and fast. But there's going to be a moment for a breather and some time for reflection for RAD as we have ourselves a quick break. We'll see you on the other side.
Hold up, chat. Let me scoop this fucking cat shit, bro, because it is smelly, bro. Oh my god. What did you eat? God damn. Why is it so big?
A gift from Khonshu.
How did that come out of your body?
The moon haunts you. Not bad, eh, Khonshu?
Sorry, chat. Okay, no more AFK. No more AFK. Bro. I don't... How... Look at this. Come here, chat. Come here, come here, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. I gotta talk to you. Come here. How does this little thing... How does this little thing produce something 3 times his size? What are you eating? What are you eating? Go play. Jesus. That meow is so cute. He has a very, very, very cute meow. I love it. Seki, appreciate the massive 4 months as well. I love his little meows. All right, chat.
Orgs, this is your 1 month notice that you can pick up PATAPIM. Maybe Luminosity can make it to LAN after all.
Whoa! Hey, that's my org, bro. Why is he insulting Luminosity? We stream for Luminosity.
We don't know if they're the only unsigned team because China is still to figure out which teams they're going to be sending, as I believe they're 1 week staggered in schedule in comparison to the rest of the regions.
Luminosity deserves it, though.
Teams that have made it thus far in all of the other regions have
Didn't Luminosity have RAD signed? And then they gave up RAD.
Attempt to try and equalize the scoreline. Hall of Dajalia is where we're headed next. A convergence map.
How do you do that?
Expected to see, given the fact that BRR PATAPIM's statistical scoreline of this.
What happens to the loser of this game?
The greatest in the past. 33% win rate on convergence.
Nothing really. Both of these teams made it to China.
0-4 on this map.
They're basically just fighting for $70,000 or $30,000.
This is a big oof for BRR PATAPIM. But that also means that maybe you don't get as much mental strain when you lose this map. You know, you're like, we're just not a Hall of Jalia team.
See, I wonder if BRR now make adaptations to protecting Tanuki's Wolverine. As it is going to be a Loki ban coming on for both of the teams. Emma Frost has already been blocked for red, so BRR won't be able to freeze her out any further. There is debate. We're not seeing an insta-lock on the save. BRR are really weighing up the options, thinking probably
nothing
like
really,
the
just
Wolverine,
40k? Yeah, 40k, man.
On the Captain America
40k is like what, pocket change? Pocket change,
opening up those off angles. The protector for Captain America does kind of force the hand of RAD. Like, we probably have to get rid of a Psylocke here. As usual, though, RAD seem very comfortable to continue going down the strategist banning route. Venom,
yeah,
man.
For a billionaire like you.
Okay, so this is just going to stop Trust Me from pulling that.
I'm eating a $10 Costco pizza. Actually, $5.
I don't know if I really value. I mean, admittedly, Trust Me does play plenty of the Venom on this map. Maybe it's more of a target ban. Hold up. A protect for the rocket, maybe, for the first time?
No, it's the Mantis save, because now RAD yet again are thinking, are they going to run a res comp, or is this a pocket comp coming on for...
Oh, good.
Again, it's trying to just force the hand, see whether or not they'll bend the knee and potentially pivot to a ban of Adam rather than the Psylocke. But no, RAD will stick to their guns, and still Pokey Psylocke will be removed. However, they could only ban the Psylocke. The Punisher has been able to make it through once more.
Yep. Punisher is still a good option here for Pokey. Maybe not going to have as many options to try and sustain themselves, however.
Is Emily still sick?
She's
feeling better.
Final judgment without many of her strategist ultimates being available.
One-sided Magneto as well for BRR PATAPIM. If it does go down to a Punisher mirror, Pokey's going to have Bulwark and Meteor M when Final Judgment comes through from the other side. But it looks like RAD are still going to try to work with this composition. I mean, granted, Hall of Dajalia does give you a lot of natural terrain for your Human Torch to hide around, but it's going to be rough given the amount of protection that's available.
Bans are actually really smart.
Plus,
you can save something and make the other team think that you're saving it because you want to run it, and then run something totally opposite.
Oh yeah, that is that's gonna be nasty.
It's pretty smart.
Still,
pretty smart.
Maybe I think that
also, now I have guac.
This is definitely where RAD are at their most comfortable.
Treating me
where they've
well.
put their opponents at their most uncomfortable. This has never been an amazing map for the side of BRR PATAPIM. It's a brand new approach.
It's also a new approach to this map because it feels in the past like the strange TP was the immediate pivot that the attackers would try and make.
Do they play
Now
under our
it
main
feels
accounts, or
much more
are
that
they
we
giving
see
them
the
tournament
attacking
accounts? I
sides
think they're
walk
playing on a
to the
whole different,
left side
what do you call
and
it?
challenge
A whole different
upon the
client.
opposite
They have
high
tournament
ground,
accounts.
the defenders, so it becomes a duel, a race to essentially.
I'm pretty sure they're playing on a different client as well, because they weren't playing on the patch that we are playing on before.
And speaking about a duel, Tanuki is going toe-to-toe with Naga, one of which has an Invis, and the other has an Ultron, so it is a battle of the pockets right now.
And apparently,
yeah, Tanuki just trying to play a little bit slower here.
Apparently, the tournament accounts, or sorry, not the tournament server, is a lot better than the live server.
By Naga and Melio, they're making an aggressive flight forward, so Tanuki has to give away a bunch of space, but that has also opened them up to Pokey being able to just take down Melio with the assault rifle. This is the price you pay when you make those aggressive pushes to try and take Tanuki off the angle.
I mean, Pokey has quietly been building up as well to that first final judgment. Polly not so quietly invading Rad's entire back line and forcing them to have to deal with the Captain America primarily, which frees up the space both for Tanuki and Pokey to get the job done, and Rad are losing player after player.
Oh, Tanuki. Feeling hot to trot right here. Does not want to go in on that diamond form ammo. So
I was about to say, that guy lived. That would have been tilting.
Volley from Enzo finds the final hit.
Yeah, normally when we have the cloak and dagger, it's a race to pull the Eternal Bond, but neither of these teams are currently running that strategist. So once more, we get to see all of T'Challa. One of the problems the attackers have to face is walking up that long open line of sight when Tanuki gets to play around this building defensively. Rad are going to try and body check him with the 2 versus 1, the Torch and the Ultron, trying to make sure that they can get past that. As we can see, Pokey just got a very long wraparound coming through from a Human Torch behind them.
Yeah, saw that one coming. Tried to nip it in the bud. Pokey taking so much damage here. There's the Captain America coming through from the other side. Extra damage. Oh, run, Melio, run. The Rage of Ultron, it needs to leave right now. Oh, he's not leaving.
Oh, no, Naga gonna make it inside the building, bro.
And, well, it's a big disengage from Rad after using 2 ultimates. And a chase from PATAPIM seems to be well informed. They want Melio. There could be a punish, though.
Oh, nice escape. Wow.
From Tanuki getting around the corner.
I feel like this character has way too much, like, mobility, bro. Way too much, man.
Yeah, huge Guardian Shield comes through from Alex to stop Tanuki from being seduced into walking closer to the Ammo Frost. So now you've still got Supernova in full play and no Meteor Ram on Rad's side to absorb it.
You see a lot of Torches melee because it gets their shot on cooldown faster, and it also changes the hitbox of their character, their model.
All right.
Makes it harder to hit.
Coming on through, trying to eat up all of those tornadoes from Naga. It does go astray, though. No final.
He wasn't LeBron there, chat. He wasn't LeBron there.
Absolute zero sleep now for Chain CC, but it's Alex sending out Psionic Blast to tear through the backline. Was that a mid-air F-dash from Polly? Oh, he's so nasty.
He is just the Captain America, it feels. The genuine article Steve Rogers. As Tanuki has got another supernova.
Wow, Pokey's actually popping the fuck off right now.
Able to boost it up with the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier. And it feels like, right, they've still got the Strange Portal. It's not quite panic in case of emergency, but we're breaking out the res composition so we can just try and suffocate the sustain that PATAPIM have access to.
I mean, the res comp, yeah, but they're not going to be able to build up the resurrection for a while.
Bro, this is not looking good for Rad. And Rad is not a bad team, chat. Rad is not a bad team.
Coming through, they were forced forth by the Rage of Ultron. Alex taken down. The Cosmic Yarn Amplifier needs to be managed, but you also need to manage the damage from Pokey. They didn't finish their meal when it came to shutting down the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier, so Pokey just puts out so much damage here, and it's a good retake thus far from PATAPIM. Still down 1. As they do not have that resurrection available. Pokey already down. Polly disengaging here. Finally, the rocket has come on back and attempt to disengage is scuppered by the forward momentum, the extra movement speed of the Mantis. Polly just going to play the peripheries, trying his best to hunt down Fate here.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Polly and Pokey are holding it down, chat. Uh-oh.
Yeah, the culling turret ain't going to last for long. That much is
bro,
a guarantee.
They held for 4 fucking minutes, dude. That was a great hold by PATAPIM. What a great hold. But Rad needs to step it up. Come on, man.
Away from the rest of Rad's players, that even though they
Come on,
won,
Fate. Come on, Melio. I know you guys are. You guys are good. Trust me as well. That whole team's good.
Able to break first and head into second. Big sedation too comes now onto Polly.
Oh, I got you. Thank you.
Health bar is forced to back off, and that means even more payload distance picked up. As BRR PATAPIM have to contest, just being boxed into these spaces by the sonic seduction as Rad make up for all of the room they'd lost out before.
It looks like Rad woke up, chat. It looks like Rad woke up. They heard me talking shit.
Demon of raw output.
Well, I wasn't talking shit, but I think they woke up.
Going to have in this next fight. They've still got the Mantis damage boost. They're going to have the Soul Resurgence too. Fate can afford to let all of his teammates go down because he'll have another Revive Cocoon to keep the Revive aura around him, even if he goes down prematurely. Mid-comic Revival. Freedom Charge comes on out from Rajara, continuing the aggressive push into BRR PATAPIM, but Fate has fallen.
Yeah, Fate fallen. Can't get up. Won't be able to use the Cocoon Revival either, as it was used at the Nadir at the first point as well. Melio likely to go down here at the auspices of Enzo, and it's Crook in the back. It's a little bit tragic for Rad. They won't be able to really utilize their Karmic Revival here from Fate as we head into, once again, the last minute of the offense.
Can they keep all of their players up, or will BRR PATAPIM be able to pick one off and force the Karmic Revival out early before Rad even get to see the objective? No, the disengage is good, but BRR PATAPIM's ultimate economy is insanely strong in comparison to what Rad have to work with.
Sentient seized, damage delivered. Trust me, the brand new front line does still have that diamond form in the back pocket. Wants to try and shut down Enzo. Slams them into a flame.
Oh no, bro. Oh my god. Tanuki finding the res and killing. Oh my god. That was a big play. That was such a great read, bro. You know what that reminds me of, chat? Have you guys ever played like OG Overwatch when Mercy had like that 5-man res and DPS players are like your team has to find the Mercy before she gets it off? That's what that reminds me of. And then you gotta kill them all. Oh my god.
Yes, there's gonna be one last attempt coming through. Oh, in comes the portal. Waiting with the shotgun, using the cart for cover. They avoid the side seduction coming on through. Still, there's going to be a chase down from Naga. And Tanuki manages to grab that one. Fate finally turns up to the party.
That was a good hold. That was a good hold, but through them. That's where BRR PATAPIM got hold last time. And remember, Virtus Pro actually capped them with 2 minutes.
Supernova. That Karmic Revival,
they capped that whole thing in 2 minutes.
Warlock's reses have been scuppered and melted out of any momentum by
what did you see about the torch meleeing? It changes the hitbox. I'm pretty sure what I've heard someone on the pro team say is, when you melee, it recharges your primary fire faster, and it also changes your hitbox to make you harder to hit in the sky.
On through and build up the Galactic Legend, outpacing Enzo, but just not being able to keep a check of that Human Torch when Rad needed the numbers back the most.
Great heads up play as well from Tanuki, tracking the potential of Fate's angles for a resurrection. Take some time out from that fight when they could be doing damage, playing it a bit more greedily to look for Fate instead, realizing what the win condition of Rad is.
BRR PATAPIM now gonna be going for their own approach, and they were able to keep
popping.
the Venom first.
24-3. Naga's popping.
Secure Polly's Captain America, so there's going to be
this is gonna be a tough game, chat. This is gonna be a tough game.
Onto Rad's players in the back line, and if they turn and pivot to deal with either of those threats, Pokey gets a free culling turret setup on the high ground on that left side. CC immune too, so not even level 1 Kirka, trust me, gonna yank them off of it.
All right, Rad. They went to this map with confidence, knowing BRR PATAPIM were 0-4 on it. BRR PATAPIM.
Wow, BRR PATAPIM are actually 0-4 on this map.
Rad at least
did you guys ever see that?
Res composition gonna be making it costly in terms of time for BRR PATAPIM to pick up point percentage. But BRR PATAPIM doing a very good job of avoiding all of the poke angles that Rad could utilize to build up some of these ultimates. The dive's already onto the backline, and that's a Soulborn force already.
On the chase coming through as well.
Is this a 7 match? Yeah, this is a 7 match.
Off when they were going after that Venom. Tanuki doing their best to avoid most of the fire, but Melio manages to catch an angle after they were softened up by Naga. And now the temptation is not to go too far. Tanuki gets resurrected up. They don't want to try and engage to stop that resurrection because you'll be going straight into the zone that Berber PATAPIM can control the best and control your disengage with that force physics. Melio under pressure. Pokey punished for it though. And now Naga needs to break down this Cosmic Yarn Amplifier. The damage has already been done though. Trust me, Rajara have fallen on down. Fate is 10% away from being able to convert onto a resurrection. But I don't know if they're going to be able to poke on out that early. Here they go. The resurrection's ready to go. They've been carried on forward by the ultimate of the Mantis. Soul Resurgence has given Fate all the space they need to work with. Most of RAD have already respawned. They're waiting for the portal to come through from Rajaro, and he does arrive, but it's inside of an invincibility. An invisibility barrier indeed. Melio gets 2 off the back of the Rage of Ultron. Ken and Alex both down. Enzo knows it's time to call it, but one ultimate to turn that around. What value from Melio?
Melio imagined coming through with a huge Rage of Ultron, bailing out RAD after Feast of the Abyss. Takes advantage of the utilization of Soul Bond.
It's still at 2 minutes on their worst map. I wonder if they're actually going to win on the first map. That's crazy. It was really smart for this team to take him here.
Revival in play, but RAD don't have the point percentage to set up for it to afford to sacrifice. If Berber PATAPIM can find the team wipe and afford themselves onto that point, RAD, even with the numbers, can still lose the first.
Early play should see Tanuki get resurrected here, but I'm not sure if we really want Tanuki to be rezzed. Caught in a back room right here. And the back rooms ain't kind to Berber PATAPIM. RAD get it done with only a single ultimate, so efficient.
Huge duo team of Trust Me and Naga. Trust Me going in aggressively with the Emma Carbon Crush, so that Naga with the Blaster Barrage can find the pick through without having to worry about trading his own life forward. Now we're getting to see the synergy come through even down that Magneto. But Berber PATAPIM, Harry, they've been building towards this next fight. They have so much for it. Cosmic Yarn Amplifier, the BRB.
They got 2 ticks on the first fight. They haven't gotten anything after.
That RAD can use with just numbers that Berber PATAPIM have to deplete.
Oh, Ken brings out the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier to save themselves from a stun that was given over by Rajaro there with the Eye of Agamotto, trying to chase down Polly. The damage might be unbearable.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. How is this one of their worst maps?
Still ready to go after a Cocoon Revival in their own right here. A disengagement. It's going to be difficult to manage, but that's okay because you could just fall on down and allow for Fate to play it from the other side. A quick revival. 40 seconds remain. But Berber PATAPIM, they still have their invisible boundary to move on forward. RAD are out of tricks. They're out of second chances. They're out of mulligans. Maybe an overwhelming here, but Rajaro takes out Pokey. That's a lot of damage that's already gone. Naga noted over here. Tanuki gets in close, but up against the element guns, it might be the Star-Lord who has the advantage. A pickup now. It needs to be a massive one, and indeed it is. Enzo delivers. Melio, Naga, Crook, all falling at the hands of Berber PATAPIM. RAD, maybe they can find something off the back of Naga here. 97% towards their ultimate, but it would be foolhardy to go in 1 versus 5. They need the setup to be delivered. Enzo's already picked up 2, and Naga's going to have to call it.
Yeah, Galactic Legends are still going to be up, but maybe the Star-Lord's not there. Ooh, they're trying to keep him up, and they will be able to disengage with the Duelist safely intact, but Berber PATAPIM have been able to see through the threat of the full hold, and Pokey now so close to another final judgment too. RAD going to have to make sure as well that Enzo doesn't get to build up the Meteor M before the Star-Lord gets the space to ult. It's going to have to be an aggressive play, but Tanuki is chasing, anticipating the Star-Lord, putting a stop to the momentum. Berber PATAPIM pick up.
He plays around the back. Pokey definitely public enemy number 1.
Jesus Christ.
The bounce is going to be claimed here by Naga. A dark maelstrom racks the veins of Berber PATAPIM as Rajaro claims the space.
What happened to my camera? What the fuck happened to my camera?
I don't know what Pokey is.
What is going on?
Pokey got brought back by the rest station. And he's got ult. So if you're RAD, you have to scout out where that Punisher's going to be popping up from right now.
Alright, Tanuki just going to do their best to avoid poke as they commute their way over to poke this front line.
Tanuki also building up to that supernova incredibly quickly. Psionic Seduction comes on through from Trust Me. Pokey answers back. The CC immunity from the Punisher means that he ignores the Ammo Frost's call to arms. And Berber Patapim shut down Rad Stall.
I'm not a huge fan of the area that invisible boundary was in. Still, Fate being caught out here. Does have a Cocoon Revival ready to go if they need it in just a moment to try and get those resurrections going. Rashara falling down. Yeah, that's Fate pulling the trigger right now. Level 1 Crook is instantly going to be. What is this resurrection? It's right in main, and it could be easily followed. Oh, Enzo! Oh my goodness! That was filthy, rancid, diabolical.
Just taking
That was
full
rancid,
advantage of
diabolical,
being
filthy,
invested.
chat.
Tanuki and Enzo both just able to
It is
turn the field into
it's
an
literally
absolute battleground that Rad can't sustain from.
if you guys ever wanted to know what I look like on the basketball court, that's what I look like.
The Cosmic Yawn Amplifier and they activate it. The second the strange steps through and
Remember, that guy's on a controller.
down to the Human Torch.
Oh, the same here for Crook. Tanuki just having an absolute bit of freedom for Age of Ultron's
No way.
alone, but they're not
They
on
won.
the objective.
They
Berber
won
Patapim pick
on
up
their
first
worst
win on
map
Fallen
that they have
Charlie,
never
and
won
Marvel Werther's Ignite
before.
in
Didn't
our
get to catch
Grand
you last
Finals.
night. Make sure you
Okay, if we're
you
going
remind
for
your side of the deal.
Rescom,
Oh my
I
god.
feel like we need to get
I'll message you later. I bet, yeah, bro. We ended at 3 a.m. I'm 30 years old. I had to go to bed.
Because every single time Tanuki just finds where those red spots are.
Well, we'll
Even
see,
though
Cal.
he's
We'll
a
see,
flying
bro.
Unit, he should be getting so much pressure
We'll
coming
see.
on through
Hey.
from Fade on the Adam Warlock, who is a hit scan in his own right. Tanuki
You
just
guys
gets to play
winning
perfectly around the map, perfectly around all of the resources
was
that
insane.
Enzo provides. And if you're trying to spend time dealing
Wait,
with
what
the
did I
torch
say? If
looking
you make
up
it to
into
the
sky,
finals, right?
Pokey
You made
gets
it to
a free
China.
run
Congratulations.
through.
But I
This
said if
is
you make it to the
quite
finals,
literally
right?
a
You have to beat
crossfire
100 Thieves.
that
Oh.
Berber Patapim were able to set up on Hall of Dejalia.
Oh.
And it was one that Rad were never able
Pop
to
off, bro. Pop off, King.
The thing is, when you're running this Mantis, Adam, and
That team looked really scary yesterday, bro.
Capacity is a little bit low.
That team
We're
looked
seeing
really
that
scary
Rojava
yesterday.
and Trust
Terra
Me
on
having to play a
Wolverine
very
looked
sheepish
really
game
scary.
as Vanguards, and it's often meaning that punishing Holly when they go to
We've done it
deep or
4
trying
times,
to
4 and 1 in the
overwhelm
last 2
Enzo,
months.
it's
You guys
essentially
beat
a
100
solitary
Thieves
frontline can be a little
4
bit difficult.
times.
Yeah, and
in
trust
the
me
past
too,
2 months?
on the Emma has to utilize Diamond Form for setups to go with the Star-Lord rather than a Magneto
Okay.
that literally just bubbles the Star-Lord.
Did Sentinels win against
and
100
calls it
Thieves
a day,
yesterday?
so
Yes.
you don't lose physical presence on the front line. Normally we see when we see the res comp come on through, which meant that Polly on
We
the
won
Captain
Shroud
America
tournament
every
in Fight
single
Night.
time
Oh, I don't
just
usually.
had to wait
I think this is the
out,
only
trust me,
tournament
use
I've ever
Diamond
watched. So
Form, and then
based
we've
off,
got a green
I
light
can only
ghost
base
on
anything
the
off of
Captain
this.
America that doesn't have to worry about getting grabbed out, which means more harassment into the back line and more resources that Rad have to use to triage any of the potential attention sent their strategist's way.
I mean, I got to shout out Ken
We won
again.
Shroud.
Like,
Oh, yeah,
we're
Ken,
seeing this
Good luck,
very
man.
pointed ban phase to try and get rid
I'm
of a
rooting for you,
bunch of
Cal,
their
even though you run it down mid
strategists.
on my
And Ken is
comp games
delivering
as
so
Punisher
much
and make me
value
lose.
on the Rocket Raccoon. What's the deal
And
with
when you're
that,
not even
my
on your
guy?
main account. But yeah,
Imagine
yo,
getting
you know
so
what? I'm
much
cheering
out
for you.
of
Oh my
the,
god, that was
Cosmic
LeBron
Cosmic
James.
Yarn amplifier as well. It's really good
Feel better,
with
man. Feel
Pokey.
better. Feel better.
It feels like if you're gonna ban out the Pokey Psylocke, and you're also going to try and force that Rocket Raccoon, having it alongside the Punisher might not be the greatest setup for you to force.
True, and also we don't tend to see Cosmic Yawn Amplifier survive all that long because a lot of the time it has a health bar, right? So what the other team does in reaction to Finesse is that you use something like Fate of Both Worlds from your Luna, and everyone just looks at the Rocket Ultimate and it's immediately disintegrated. But when you're running Adam, Mantis, Ultron, you don't really have, when you utilize one of those strategist ultimates, the potential of giving everyone the space to take down the Cosmic Yawn Amplifier before one of your players gets traded. So Ken's Rocket is finding so much value.
A rocket ship to the greater part of our $250,000.
Did Rad
prize
change
pool
up the comp
potential.
at all during
We'll
that?
see if our best of 7 is going to go back in Rad's direction. After
I don't
this
think so.
break.
Bro, I think the reason Berber Patapim is even winning this
Protect your bald king.
is because they won this. If they didn't have this game, I don't think they would be on this high that they are on. If you win this game and you make it to China, chat, you are fucking, I can't imagine the screaming and how happy they would be. That is probably the best thing to ever feel. And then on top of that, carry that momentum over and do it into your next game. And so far be up 2-0 against RAD in the finals of this playoffs is crazy. It's crazy. Are Sentinels going to China? Yes. Sentinels, 100 Thieves, and Envy are going to China for North America. Dan, by the way, Dan Comp, appreciate the massive Prime sub, my friend. Appreciate it. Is Berber PATAPIM a new team? I don't know the history behind Berber PATAPIM, but I do know they are an unsigned organization. They're an unsigned team, so they are currently looking for an org. And to be honest with you, I don't know, man. Someone should pick them up. That's all I'm saying. Hey, you know what? Chat, we need to make an investment. I need you guys to also make an investment with me. Let's change Berber PATAPIM's team name to J3 Baldies. Let's fly them to China and sponsor them for this thing. I think that would be amazing. What do you mean ill? Who wouldn't want to be on J3 Baldies? You and what money? What do you mean, me and what? Bro, let me show you how much I have. Chat, can I borrow like $5? Yo, chat. Woo, yo. Remember when I said we should buy them out? Yo, chat, you guys got to keep your end of the bargain, bro. Come on. Woo! Let's get 5 gifted. Yeah. Listen, I am not Tim the Tat Man. I am not Shroud, and I'm not fucking Nade Shot, who sit there for 20 hours on their stream, not playing a single game, but fucking opening $30,000 worth of fucking loot boxes in Counter-Strike. I can't do that. I can't do that. Yo, Jeff OTP. You know what? It's going to be called J3 and plus Jeff OTP Baldies.
2-0. It seems like the lower bracket hot hands.
We have some investors, chat. We have some investors. I appreciate it.
Win on
Yo, Speed of Jack. Appreciate the massive 5 gifted subs as well. Jeff, appreciate the massive 5 gifted too.
Indeed, as Tanuki's torch has proved to be an absolute terror in disguise, being able to dispatch and deal quite handedly out.
Bro, don't put my name next to the bald in the same name. Bro, I have to use some part of your name if you are being an investor. Fine. J3's 69. No, wait, no, I can't.
Engagements come
J3's OTP.
Bubble into Blaster Bar spin coming out from the Starlord. Nor do we get to see the Meteor M being utilized to buy yourself space.
Yo, Dr. Triple OG for 2 months. Appreciate it.
Position that the enemy team gets to see just glaring out into the dark night sky like a lighthouse to the ships outside the sea.
Once again, RAD have a choice of where we're going to be going for our next map. And the question is for Berber PATAPIM, when does the energy run out? But honestly, I feel like you just get innovated by earning that land ticket, you know, and they're just like, okay, we just
how much money do you need to buy them? Oh, I don't think it's how much money you need to buy them. I think it's you're sponsoring the team, chat.
We walk away with our biggest
so like
advertisement saying,
you would have to probably pay for their flights, their hotels, probably their meals.
Berber PATAPIM, like every little bit of momentum is in their favor right now.
Yeah, Berber PATAPIM, like that was RAD's big chance really to try and stop that momentum push coming out after the win on Krakoa, right? They took us to Berber PATAPIM's historically worst map type, historically their worst map, and Berber PATAPIM did not look like the worst team in that matchup. They looked like they had the full read of whole.
You would have to do the math.
Coming on for both in terms
6
of
flights,
of tempo,
6 flights to China. I searched it up yesterday. I think from Miami to China was like $2,000. So 6 flights plus a coach, 7 flights, 7 times 2, 14,000 plus hotels.
It was rough for us
plus food. I don't know. You're maybe looking at $25,000, $30,000 or some shit.
Line as well to be able to play both for Venom and the Captain America at
a lot of money.
Level is
a lot of money.
Asset for Berber. Rad, the choice is yours. I believe it has to be a convoy map now. So it is indeed Yggdrasil Path, where we will be hanging our hats next.
Well, Captain America is the first pan coming on through from Rad. There's the pivot.
Okay, chat, let's see this. Let's see this.
Berber PATAPIM immediately removing the Magneto as we saw the problems.
They're orgless, chat. They're orgless. You guys gotta remember, they're orgless.
Question is, now with Ken freed, will they counter Loki Protect here? Allowing Ken to really stretch their legs on what was most commonly known as their best hero for a long time. So has at least friend them through a loop of touch, seeing that Cap first banned.
Rad did go for a Loki save as well, so that Berber PATAPIM don't get one-sided Loki if Ken does decide to save for it. But now they have a little bit of an issue. Do you save the Loki and forgo a Vanguard? Or do you potentially save a hero that Tanuki likes to field towards? Looks like they're putting the prospects and resources into the Loki coming on through. So both of these teams are going to be able to have the Asgardian strategist on their side. What Berber PATAPIM aren't going to have, though, and I think this is smart as well, is the Punisher. If you're running that Loki, that Psylocke threat that you had previously, especially since there's no Captain America, becomes much more easy to mitigate.
Yeah, I vibe with this, getting rid of that Punisher. Pokey gonna have to potentially run the unassisted Psylocke if you don't want to invest yet another ban in this. Getting rid of the Team Rad Psylocke. I don't know if Team Rad really get as much value out of Psylocke as Pokey does. But the Magneto ban, I think, definitely makes a lot of sense here. Maybe you can save your own Emma Frost for Berber PATAPIM.
Yeah, I think they're gonna potentially save maybe the Wolverine so that they can utilize the fastball special, try and break first corner when they're on the attack of Yggdrasil Path. However, Rad banning that Magneto earlier now means that Berber PATAPIM are going to have to deal with likely a Punisher save for Melio in this next block. And if it isn't a Punisher save, then it absolutely has to be a Punisher ban when Berber PATAPIM get the ball in their court.
All right, really targeting down Pokey.
Nothing better than chips and guac to watch this.
Trying to make sure that they are lacking in options and, wow, their own Punisher here. I think that this is a great draft here for Rad. They are leaving every strategist open for the side of Berber PATAPIM, but that isn't that much of an issue, honestly. I feel like Rad know their way around like a Luna Loki.
True, but taking out the Doctor Strange could be an interesting adaptation so that you wouldn't have Strange Portal recontest plays. You also wouldn't have the Strange Portal at the beginning for the Punisher culling turret, nor would you have the opportunity to utilize a Luna Fate of Both Worlds from either a Luna or the Loki that copied her to amp up the Maelstrom of Madness, but they actually decide to pivot over in the end away from the Strange and ban the Thing instead. So if Tanuki wants to flex over to the Wolverine, he's still going to be able to put the Sorcerer Supreme under pressure.
All right. It's going to be Yggdrasil Path. We saw Pokey hovering the hell indeed. And this is going to allow for Ken to get resurrected if they do get picked off early. Due to that Ragnarok Rebirth team up. And I believe that the Hell was actually the first hero I saw Pokey playing when they were on Royal Beamers, doing remarkably well in MRC.
It's a very good Helen map too. Lots of good off angles, lots of high ground rotations, and with Psylocke being out of the rotation for both sides, you don't have to worry about winning out that duel.
You know what I
Plus,
noticed?
as we've seen from other
that
teams,
EMEA,
Hela
or I guess some teams don't do,
Wolverine with the soldier in a cooldown can
that
be
NA
particularly
does.
problematic, but
I see a lot of teams on NA run 3 tanks, 3 supports, and go hold their spawn here. I don't think I've ever seen. Chat, have you seen that on EMEA?
Going to be playing the Hulk. As we can have a look and see, Rad Melio on the Wolverine. Look out, Vanguards. Your lives are in danger if a Wolverine comes flying directly for your face.
Something is off here.
Essentially, aside from the Vanguard's a bit of a mirror match here between our teams. Trust me, just opens up that portal. I believe it's just going to get
Virtus Pro do that?
behind and then
I don't remember.
instantly swap over onto the Hulk. Get maximum value out of this.
Oh, Virtus Pro does it? Okay.
Never
mind, I'm wrong.
Naga instantly gets exiled by Enzo. Oh, Naga.
I'm sorry, bro. I streamed so much the past 3 days. I think everything's blending into one. Wow, Naga. Feels bad, man.
The inevitable.
Staggering of the deep.
I mean, did buy the attention. Berber PATAPIM turned their heads to deal with the Namor. Rad's other team players got to move around the corner, and with the regen domain, they've already been able to break through. However, Tanuki sees where the actual Loki is. Divas Exchange comes into play, allowing level 1 Crook to escape. But Pokey is just keeping such a good track of all of the off-angle rotations that Rad could make.
All right, Unbreakable Barrier put on up for the Vanguards here. An attempt at a Gamma Spear, but Rajara is able to dodge away from that one. And now the backline pressure is starting to mount on up. Oh, Alex, now the pressure's going the other way. Una reverse card for real right now. Rajaro and Melio can't stand up to the ice arts for finger painting. Too difficult to get past.
Regen domain having to be invested as well from the side of Rad so that they don't lose another player to a stagger. Pokey's already been able to build up the
Yo, Ender for 7 months. Appreciate it. How you doing, my friend?
Seeing that the Wolverine strategy isn't going to break open this corner, swaps now over towards that Punisher's Blessing of the Deep and Regeneration domain have been forced to just stabilize the Namor from Berber PATAPIM's end.
All right, Horn of Proteus, good to go. And you can see in the back there's potential for the damage.
Oh, Pokey with the massive 2K.
Strategist ultimate as well. Face still got one in the back pocket. Of course, won't be using it here as he's just trying to avoid getting staggered out. Rad.
Oh, no.
Oh, yep, trust me, doesn't even get to reset inside.
Berber PATAPIM can absorb as well this final judgment, or they can just leave the area and not bother with it in the slightest. Fate is going to have the horn, the fate of both worlds available.
Are both teams not signed? I'm pretty sure Rad Esports is an org.
Tanuki is going all the way into
Berber PATAPIM is not.
Oh, Rajaro is having a very bad, not so good, terrible time right now. Unbreakable Guard onto Melia, walks past the Aegis shield, but it seems like mostly, yeah, Berber PATAPIM, they simply disengage. Enzo, whoa, what a timing there. On
that was actually
ultimate.
insane timing.
Still, damage going to be done, even outside of the LOS of the strategist. Cannot last for long. Enzo taken down, but Tanuki follows up there.
Good shit by Melio.
Very well, rolling forth now, and that Unbreakable Hulk is feeling quite broken. Trust me, just gets decimated. It's going to be a stagger as well.
Oh, the body blocks so that he can't run back to his team, and then the Wolf just utilizes it to keep up the rage.
Wait.
1 minute left. Melio doesn't have final judgment. Naga could come through with a huge...
Did you order food?
Horn of Proteus. Fate
someone delivered food at our house.
Potential, but this has to be a magical play from Rad.
All right, Gamma Squids thrown on out here. Berserk state achieved. And want Rajaro to get control. Damage boost.
Chat, what do I do? I think one of my neighbors ordered food, but they delivered it to the wrong house. Do I just eat it? Or do I be a good neighbor and give it to my neighbor?
The value, but that's because Melia was taken out in advance by the Emma Frost. Pokey needs to make a decision. Are they going to invest that Blessing of the Deep inside of the regeneration domain? There is no need. Trust me, has to roll on forward, but is executed by Pokey. Tanuki finds elsewhere.
Wow.
10 seconds
I thought they should win 3 tanks, 3 supports. That's usually what teams run to stall out the point, but I'm gonna be honest with you, Berber PATAPIM just fucking almost full held this.
Difficult to break through a defensive Berber PATAPIM.
Rajaro was able to contest. They'll have level 1 Crook and Melia's ultimates in this next fight that goes longer than Namor 2, but Berber PATAPIM have the cover of corner and space to disengage.
But they need to turn it around for their team. Oh, they can't afford to go on down, but Tanuki's desperate to try and make it work. 15% away from the last stand. Melio's finally got themselves a good angle. Polly gets into cover. The disengages once again so strong.
Wow, the disengages by Berber PATAPIM have been insane.
You've still got Tanuki in the back. 98% towards the last stand. It could be a ruinous finish as the culling turret down the lane is going to make a recontest incredibly difficult. The lack of damage drop-off could be everything. And now down the world break.
Come on, Rad. Come on, Rad. You guys don't want to be down 3-0, bro. Come on, Rad.
Tanuki going down. The damage boost is fine. It's just sustained on through on the other side. Everybody's got the Loki crystals to try and survive. Polly taken down, but Naga traded elsewhere. Overwhelming force is alleviated from Enzo by the healing of the fate of both worlds. Melio's turret has to go down once again. Pokey's so accurate when it comes to these. Tanuki's finally arrived, and he's made his presence known well. A freedom charge, a freedom from point A is demanded. Melio, a second ultimate, yes, but nothing to be gained off of it. The Sorcerer Supreme is saying, let me show you a trick as I make your Punisher disappear. And it's an
oh my god, the casting is phenomenal, dude. I don't know how this guy keeps talking and talking and talking and with like...
Rad
It's just
pantsed by Berber PATAPIM.
Rad is getting pantsed by Berber PATAPIM.
Rad's hand is forced in overtime.
Dude.
They have to make the aggressive play.
Yeah, that wordplay was phenomenal.
They know that when the fight continues
Phenomenal.
afterwards, they're going to have all of the ultimates.
And I'm from Florida. I don't even understand half the words he just said.
Pressure, taking down Fade, taking
Phenomenal.
down another one, Kirk. Even though Melio gets the final judgment, there's no strategist. Rujaro's got the freedom charge, but it has to be on the objective so you don't lose out to overtime.
Huh?
Which means no pocket for the Punisher. And
What's up?
Melio finds no value with final judgment.
You want me to go check downstairs?
Finds no point. Not a singular part of
What's up?
Yggdrasil is picked up.
Oh no. Yet another map chosen by RAD. And yet another lackluster attack. Berber PATAPIM just came out of that lower bracket finals so bloody hot. It feels like they're undefeatable right now.
Pokey too, showcasing how strong the Namor can be when you have the Luna to line up your ultimate cooldowns. That and Blessing of the Deep just providing enough time for Berber PATAPIM to turn their attention to the Namor, who is coming under trouble, allowing him to play so much more for shutdown to the alt angles that RAD were looking to create. But now it's that turn on the defense, and it doesn't easy a defensible position. That first corner, trust me, he's gonna go for a little bit of a cheeky portal play at the beginning, just to give a better angle to Melio, potentially hope for Berber PATAPIM to walk directly through, but they don't fall for it.
I'm not sure what that one was, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe a touch of a tilt play. I'm sure in the replays it might be made a little bit more concrete as to what the objective was there for the side of Trust Me. But Pokey, though, the objective right now is just to continue fragging from the front line. So accurate with these tridents. The Lord of the Deep is making.
I'll get it to you after this game.
Right now.
It's gonna be over real quick.
To disengage into those
My neighbors didn't order anything. Emily
isolated. All the excellent timing.
ordered something. Chai tea.
Well. Already halfway towards that last stand. Tanuki is dominating.
Level 1 Kirk has been able though to translate the damage.
Wait, Chad, did they interview someone after the last the finals for the lower bracket?
Berber PATAPIM can light up as well. Horn of Proteus just before Ken's ultimate ends. Maybe he keeps it in.
Oh yeah, the coach. Yeah. Bro, my memory is horrible.
Enzo, a triple. What? I think that Tanuki may have just interrupted the Eye of Agamotto. It might have been a solo.
No. Oh no.
What is going on right now? They are looking invincible. Enzo.
Chat, bro, what's going on right now, bro? I don't want to be disrespectful.
Yeah, it was.
But I think the lower bracket finals was better than this. What's happening with RAD right now? If RAD reverse sweeps, I'm going to scream without the S. I believe in RAD. I'm gonna cheer for RAD. Come on, chat. We need more RAD in the chat. I don't want to see them go down 4-0, bro. Come on, RAD. You guys are better than this, man. You guys are better than this.
Everyone from RAD had to take a big old step backwards, and that then bled into the angles that were afforded to Pokey and Tanuki, and the safe spaces as well that Ken and Alex could play from. Alex, by the way, survived the entire 2 rounds. Did not go down on the Luna at all.
Unreal. I mean, those of you who didn't know the secret lore, now you know why Ken was getting target banned by VP the entirety of that series. You cannot let this guy on the Loki. He's just different. Might be a true Asgardian.
Yeah, definitely potentially adopted by Odin himself right now from all of the Loki gameplay that we've seen coming on through. And Berber PATAPIM, they just used so much momentum against RAD too. Like, they made sure when they broke that first corner, they caught the disengages. They sent out the Hulk. Enzo on the Hulk was going in and uprooting RAD's.
That guy was a controller tank player, by the way. Controller mag, controller Hulk.
Played out the threat of value coming out from that regeneration domain. And then
bro, Enzo and TTK are disgusting.
To come back into play once more. They did such a good job of controlling the objective, the space around it, the angle too on the far left, which can sometimes be problematic.
Can we get replay codes for these games? No.
As you cross around
these games are happening on a different.
It's match point. in a best of 7 here
A different
for our grand
that's
finals.
client.
Boba have
They're on the
hottest
tournament
hands I
client.
have
They're not on the
ever
live
seen.
servers.
Can RAD turn it around utilizing all of their power coming through from the winners bracket? Find out after our break.
Unless anyone knows how to get like the codes, because I would love to spectate these, bro. Seeing like who I want to see from the other tournaments that happen on in the game client, you can spectate. But yeah, this is wild though. Let me give I'm guessing this is what you got.
Beholds the god of thunder!
Why is no one playing Hela? Hela gets played in the tournament. It just depends on what's banned, what's not banned, what map it is. But I never really noticed that Thor has lovely feet. What's going on? Yo, home decor with a massive dono on YouTube said, is the match scripted? Bro, no, the match is not scripted, man. Reverse sweep inbound? If RAD reverse sweeps, I'll get naked and run outside my house around the block and then come back. Oh, let me give Emily her drink. Give me 1 second. Chat, come on, man. I don't think there's a RAD. I want to see RAD win, bro. I want to see RAD win at least a match. I don't want to see them go out 4-0, bro. I mean, they're already going to China, but like, you can't. Come on, man.
For Team RAD, it's reverse sweep or perish, simply as PATAPIM coming from a lower bracket, already having done a 5-map slobber knocker, are currently 3-0 up.
Yeah, it's been a rough time of it for RAD. We really can't sugarcoat it, Harry. So they need to spend the time just like during this and in between the next map resetting, right? We saw VP versus BP go the absolute distance. It is entirely possible that you can start making a comeback and grabbing some of those maps. And we need to see a pivot. It feels like RAD tried to come into this thinking that
I went to
they
go
got the
give Emily
better
her
of
drink.
BP
Sorry, chat.
the last time the two teams matched up.
She got.
off of the
Well, remember when I
res
said, "Would you
and
eat
they
your
put so much
neighbor's
stock in the
food?"
res
Apparently,
comp.
I asked
But
Emily
I
if she got
feel
any food. She
VP
said
put
no.
just as much stock
But she got
in during
drinks.
the res comp
She
when
gave.
these
She
two
got me a
teams
chai.
went their separate ways afterwards.
She surprised me.
Yeah, right now it really seems like Tanuki Pokey go brr is kind of how they're managing to deal with the res comp. And it feels like right now there's some frontline dominance going on between like Enzo and Polly are just unbreakable right now. We've seen Enzo find exactly the right moments to try and break out of the scrum on the Hulk as well, to really find the attention on that backline, being able to pick up the strategists of RAD towards the end of that Idris path, and it looked like it might have, well, it might have been a good enough halt. And we saw, trust me, getting isolated in some random position with Tanuki on the Wolverine. Maybe got Feral leapt up there, tries to go for the solo. Eye of Agamotto gets stunned out of it by the last stand, and we didn't have the portal to recontest either because there was that weird portal at the beginning. For RAD, there are a lot of things right now that I think can only be described by Tilt.
Yeah, if I'm Rad's coach right now, I'm just like telling all of the guys, hey, calm down. We beat them once before. We can beat them again. We just need to make sure that we're playing our game and we're not playing to their game, because BRR PATAPIM are a very good team at taking a little bit of momentum and translating it into a lot of momentum. Like you said, having things like Enzo on the Hulk being able to, he, trust me, did not have a fun time. That he just, he got exiled, and then just the immediate countdown of 3, 2, 1, exile breaks. Only the Hulk can choose when the exile breaks, so they perfectly coordinated it in sync with Tanuki's feral grab, which was just not a fun vacation for the Doctor Strange to take.
Yeah, Doctor Strange really does struggle quite a bit against the Wolverine, and that struggle is even harder when you're getting feral ups twice as often because he's just getting thrown at you with the old fastball that Hulk has available. For RAD, now they have a big choice to make. Their last stand, potentially.
Chat.
And they're going to be able to pick the map. But
you guys think RAD's going to win at least one map?
Map pool is
I hope so.
Up, Marks. They have so many options.
I'm just thinking this, like, if I was a player on RAD, I would feel really bad if I got 4-0'd. I hope
into the mix, but
I hope they can win at least the next map.
Heaven, or if you do, wow, that is a big decision. Maybe they have a whole game plan around that, but I feel like BRR PATAPIM, their best map is Hell's Heaven. Their best dive map is Hell's Heaven too, and we've seen that RAD have struggled.
Oh no, they didn't write that on the bag.
With the dive, personally, I would love to see a prioritization.
Also, a text message. I don't think I got a text message saying that.
Side, just so that if Tanuki's Wolverine does make it through, or even if the Hulk manages to get through as well from Enzo, you at least have the bulwarks to be able to give a little bit of counterplay. Heck, even going for the Invis woman, I know it sacrifices the ultimate versus ultimate in terms of the strategist showdown, but force physics is an invaluable cooldown, and it feels like Tanuki's Wolverine isn't
I got it,
that much respect when it comes to trying to deal with it right now.
I wonder how much of this can really be solved in the ban phase, because we almost saw like a pseudo mirror on Idris path as well that was so different from any of the other compositions we've seen go up against each other, and it was still absolute domination in favor of BRR PATAPIM. They won out in every single aspect. It felt like when it was coordination, when it came to hitting the exile. Enzo has been hitting that gamma spit exile. So often. Like, it's such a valuable cooldown when we've seen. I need
stimulation. Start the game.
Eat your soul. From
Sorry, I don't know what's getting away.
For RAD, like, do you go for the first ban on Ken? Do you go for the first ban on the Captain America? Either way, it feels like right now, BRR PATAPIM are not a team that can really be solved in bans.
Yeah, I think they definitely need to change up how they're looking at the gameplay. They're sort of looking at like, oh, we've got Final Judgment, therefore we win the fight, right? We get so much space.
What? Phantom Spark, what are you saying?
Of this, but BRR PATAPIM, they're alt tracking and then they're anticipating. So instead of Final Judgment,
Muzo, what are you saying?
An ultimate to match it, and we see, as we did previous weeks, Final Judgment into Invis Boundary, and then being able to bypass the heals per second that Invis Boundary provides. BRR PATAPIM just disengage. They use regeneration domain to make sure that the disengage is as safe as it possibly can be. It is somewhat blanketed by that cooldown, but they're still saving all of their ultimates to just surge out the second that Final Judgment is done. And it feels like RAD aren't really taking advantage of things that the Final Judgment buys them, not in picks or frags, but in the space that they can utilize.
What map are we going to, Jet? Where's RAD taking us? Watch it be at Rocco.
Okay, RAD. What's the story?
Actually, no, isn't it a Koth map?
What map will be our turnaround for this series? A reverse sweep is demanded. We cannot let Asia
Spider
go to 8
Island
maps and we have a 4-0. I refuse for that to be the case. And it might well be a first ban once again onto Ken. Yep, we are not allowing that man on Loki again.
Yeah, we're right back into the swing of things, and we're still going for the priority of the Amethyst over that Magneto. Carbon Crush needs to find value coming on through from RAD. I know it means that you don't have to worry as much about
Does
the
Virtus
Captain
Pro
America,
lose? Yes. Virtus Pro is out of the tournament.
Just immediately
they are not
removed
going
the
to China.
Magneto. We need to
Sadly.
see a pivot from RAD here into being able to play against Tanuki.
All right, early protect here. Making sure that Polly can continue being a backline menace. I gotta make sure there's gonna be no uneven gradient of Loki here.
Well, there's going to be no lunar snow forecast either for the side of Berber PATAPIM, as RAD is once again going to go back to one-sided cloak and dagger.
I miss jobless bums.
Berber PATAPIM
Same,
going to be
dude.
removing Psylocke from playing. Oh, something.
Hey, but if you want to watch a jobless bum, just watch me.
For the first time in the series, Setstroid is subbed in.
Oh, okay. A little bit of a new look here.
That's
Naga
hella,
subbed out.
potentially. Setstroid is a huge hella player. Maybe they go the right that we saw from Crisis of low 9, where you utilize Soul Drainer against the Wolverine.
Maybe a Rocket Band this time. It seems like every time this one comes up.
Oh, chat, they're banning all the supports. Oh my god, look at that. They banned Loki, they banned Luna, they banned Cloak and Dagger, and they bland Rocket. Yo, VNext, appreciate that as a prime sub, my friend.
Summon inconsiderate.
Or VNX, appreciate that as a prime sub.
Now. You've got your respect.
I'll have you know that that's one damaged Rocket. I believe they had to remake their account, unfortunately. As RAD are going to be able to give themselves the Mantis, which means that Berber PATAPIM are forced into banning out the Atom in case it is a Spider Island's res composition to stall this out even further. Do we get the Invis woman?
Wait, they banned Psylocke and protected Psylocke? Yes, it's tournament bans.
Guardian Shield over to Setstroid if he goes for that hella play, or do you just
how the bans work is you ban for the other team and you save for your team. So my team, let's say my team bans Psylocke. That means you can't play Psylocke. And I could save Psylocke, which means you can't ban my Psylocke.
Fate and level 1 Croak, between them playing the Luna and the Cloak and Dagger, they should really allow for Setstroid and Melio to try and take it to the double DPS, because the double duelists at the moment, Pokey and Tanuki, they tend to be able to find a bully 2v1.
True. Spider Islands are not really known for the duelist angles, very much known for the spawn hold strats, which rotate around having a sheer amount of Vanguard.
That wasn't even me.
In your lineup, as this is going to be the first time we're getting to see Berber.
Aizen, I don't think Brie likes you.
An unknown quantity coming on for, at least for broadcast. It's definitely going to be a certainty that RAD know, or at least have some form of idea of what.
Oh shit! Wait, chat. I just realized they left all the flyers open.
This is officials, and this is also match point for Berber PATAPIM. RAD need to take this, what the series has done.
All right, EMEA Grand Finals.
What are they gonna run? They're gonna run Luna. Wait.
Do or die for RAD.
RAD once again coming.
Wait, they're gonna run
the
Luna, Mantis, and
pocket composition.
Ultron.
Once again on the Wolverine. Pokey's already been forced off of the angle though, which is giving RAD a little bit more space to play around with. No Vanguard heavy compositions, so we're gonna be fighting around second corner rather than first.
They're running a double strategist with only Mantis and the Invisible Woman. Berber PATAPIM might have been a solve right here. Melio dives on in. Rajavo's there as well. Finally, some action. A little bit of vibration in the back here from RAD. They have been roused from the grave.
Is this the strange TP play coming through from Berber PATAPIM, or are we going to see a pivot over to something else? No, that's still holding the strange portal. We're going to walk directly to the second fight and potentially hold off on that portal for third contest. Level 1 Crooks already going to have the Soul Resurgence in this next fight, trust me too. Building towards that first Psionic Seduction, and Berber PATAPIM looking a little bit more fragile with the composition that they've been forced onto, as Tanuki is off of the Wolverine onto the Ultron to match the sustain that the other side can I put.
All right, Melio reigning above it all. Usually it's Naga who's playing on that Human Torch, but this time with Setstroid in, it's going to be Melio taking over those duties. Oh, Crook's already down, which is a little bit shy of managing to grab that one. Melio up too high. Pokey finds a crossbow bolt from across.
Come on, RAD.
And look at that.
Come on.
Down the follow-up onto your own.
Come on, RAD. I need you guys to win one map, bro. I don't want to see this go to a 4-0.
Trust me, he's gonna fall. They should be able to get everyone else safely back into respawn. But opening that fight up with Psionic Seduction is a rough one because now PATAPIM can just put up token resistance presence on second corner, wait for the ultimates to be burned, and disengage before coming back in you. Just like we saw on the map before. Polly up on that rooftop too is going to be able to scout check out Melio, who almost goes down immediately.
Okay, Rage of Ultron opens up already here from Destroyed, looking and speculating towards the back, but not really getting much in the way of contact here. Destroyed, unable to really convert upon that ultimate. Still did force out the invisible boundary, which is a major cooldown. PATAPIM are going to be lacking now. A full investment from PATAPIM. They're certainly feeling a bit spooked.
Come on, man.
Trying to shut down Melio.
Come on, man. That looked like me on the basketball court, bro. Trying to shoot a three-point shot, and I like, I just don't hit anything.
The kitchen for the first time in this series.
Come on, man.
I
didn't know we got Angel Reese. What's her name? Angel Reese? Playing some Marvel Rivals? Come on, man.
Will be able to, for the first time in the series, pick up a point on Convoy, and they've got momentum to keep that movement going. Rajara is going to have Freedom Charge, Fate of both worlds too. As PATAPIM, ooh, we're seeing a different side to them again. Pokey is over to the Adam Warlock. They've seen that Red have so many flyers. PATAPIM decide we're putting Pokey onto the Adam Warlock to have hit scan to challenge them, and then Tanuki is going to take the aerial dogfight up in the sky with Melio and Sestroid.
Mum said it's my turn on the res comp. Trying to track down Melio already. However, just going to go for a little bit of a disengage. Oh, that's a nasty little clip right there. And the Cosmic Clusters take down Melio from downtown. Crook rolling on forward here. Not going to be able to meet the Soul Resurgence that Ken previously used, but Destroyed getting aggressive here. Impressive that they were brave enough to use that quick Ultron dash. Oh, the shutdown on Trust Me. Instantly lost their ultimate. Where is the burst healing? Nowhere to be seen. A dink from downtown onto Pokey. But Destroyed finds Enzo, lets them fall through the cracks. Tanuki needs to be shut down on this angle. Someone else needs to come in and hit the shot. He's so difficult to hit during the Blaster Barrage.
But Pokey is going to have Comic Revival. And Polly is trying to match Witch with Rajara, who's pushing for more space. They know that Comic Revival is going to be.
Wait, that's a good hiding spot. I like that. You guys saw where that guy was?
The time to set it up cleanly. Polly now goes on to the objective, is still stalling it out, and that allows Tanuki to get into a position, challenging Melio, utilizing the iframes on the Stellar Ship to get himself out of dodge before coming on for the Blaster Barrage to force a resurgence. Coming out from level 1 Crook before he just dives, dodges right back into the safety of his boundary.
Yeah, playing safe inside the invisible boundary. And Pokey still has that resurrection in the back. Melio going to make it a little bit dangerous here. Enzo starts eating up all of those flame tornadoes. Only the charge you just there to really catch
bro, come on, man. What's up with these Magnetos, bro? What's up with
on the other side? Pokey going to come on through now with the res. Trust me, converting on the beam damage inside the building.
But this is good for Rad. Come on, Rad.
Polly gets resurrected yet again after putting their life on the line to keep that cart contested. A freedom charge forward now. Overwhelming force. Destroyed. Damage boosted, yes. But the Rage of Ultron unable to break through the freedom charge. Needs to heal up the remainder of the team. Rad, they get scuppered.
I don't know what happened between last game and this game, but PATAPIM is looking like a different team, chat. They are looking like a completely different team. Like, I don't know what happened.
This is what happens when PATAPIM can play the rest comp with the full heroes that it requires. Tanuki's gonna have a Galactic Legend. They've spotted Rajara out in the backline. Pokey takes down Melio too. Serrata missing a huge chunk of burst damage and follow-up potential from Trust Me Psionic Seduction. Everyone from PATAPIM is safe inside of this boundary.
One player seduced. Follow-up's not going to be there. Alex can't be shut down before the invisible boundaries already run its course. A soul bond here shares out the damage, but it's now over. Trust Me has everything they need to try and convert upon this fight. Tanuki wants to shut it down. It's for Legendary around the back. So many targets to choose, but which one will you go for in this case? A quick self-resurrection. Cocooned revival from Ken. The same from Pokey on the other side. Rad have lost control of the
does Rad know that they have to go push the card, chat? They're on offense.
that will once more be the decider in this fight. Tanuki super low. The Soul Resurgence on both sides. Yet another Meteor M. Where do you want to put it here? Directly on top of Fate's head. And Fate, now it's a lot of healing that's going to be missing. Tanuki's tracking is sublime. Second to none. Trust me in the back. Finds Ken. Cocoon Revival already on cooldown. Overtime needs to be triggered yet again. Someone's going to go and touch the point, guys. Oh, finally. It's going to be the Captain America that gets that one going. Big Pokey
Tanuki
now ready to go. No, brings Ken back. No one's touching.
Tanuki is popping, chat.
There's no light at the end of the tunnel for RAD on that.
Come on, RAD. RAD can win this, chat. RAD can win this. They just need to
just allowing so many of the players to come back.
I'm just gonna say it. RAD just starts need to start. They just need to start cheating. If you're not cheating, are you really trying hard enough to win, chat?
We've seen it happen so many times before.
No, don't cheat in video games.
If they try to run the res composition, they're gonna get outmatched.
I have to say, don't cheat in video games because someone might actually think I'm telling the truth. Don't do that.
Again and again, that Magneto slips through the bands. They can't keep getting away with it, Margs.
I told you in between the break that in my personal opinion, Magneto is just as crucial to res comp as the Adam Warlock is, and you can absolutely see why. The second Berber PATAPIM pivoted to that composition. The Bulwarks were getting maximum amounts of value. Even Meteor M being used just shut down Rad's momentum, absorbing a sort of galactic legend, Rages of Ultron coming on through from Sestroid, which probably converted into a lot of rage from Rad's VC. As now
come on, RAD.
Have to pull off the hold. Spider Islands is defensively favored, though.
Come on, RAD.
Flyer composition you prioritize just boosting your spam damage output. You do have immediate access to their spawn doors to hold them for a significant chunk of time. Wait. Oh my goodness, it's real. Harry, Berber, PATAPIM are on match point, and they're trying to win with Jeff Nato.
I mean,
no, bro. No, RAD, you have to win. Berber PATAPIM is trolling you. You have to win. They're running Jeff Nato.
Tanuki slowly building up to the first hits. Chaff Pokey a little bit slower to build up the Omega Hurricane. As RAD with control of those spawn doors know exactly where Berber PATAPIM.
Oh, they tried it for one life and got off. Okay, they're not trolling. They tried it for one life, got rolled, and they got off. Good shit, RAD. Put them into their place. Put them in their place.
Active Resurrections, Tanuki needs to be shut down. Tanuki's just been having an absolutely wonderful time up in the air. Even in the 2v1 against Destroyed and Melio, just constantly getting that damage boost, has the healing over time from the Mantis. There we go, finally a delivery of damage. This is going to be Melio, maybe a little bit prematurely popping a supernova, but of course wants to start building up towards their next one real quick. Enzo forced back into spawn, a minute gone now.
Yeah, that supernova comes through very quickly before Enzo can build the Meteor M as well. Berber PATAPIM are going to be relying now on Polly, creating a disruption in the back line to force Rad's head to turn away from the spawn doors. But Sestroid more than happy to match up the sustainability of the Rage of Ultron, but he goes a little bit too long.
Melio's cooking. Melio's cooking. Get it, guys? Get it? Because he's on Human Torch. You get like he's fire. He could cook. Get it, chat?
So far from the sun, he's just
come on, Melio.
Voyaging past Pluto at the moment, going out into the Kuiper belt. Berber PATAPIM finally break out of their spawn. They just love Melio here. Maybe there's going to be a quick teleport back from RAD, but looks like they're just going to opt for a regular second fight instead.
Yeah, no one's on the strength. They're all too close to their ultimates to sacrifice to a 50% gut of the ultimate charge reset coming on through. And that does mean that we're going to be seeing two fights potentially of Spider Islands first, which is more than happy for Berber PATAPIM, given the fact that Pokey has got Karmic Revival up.
Well, that free reset ready to go, opening up here with the Freedom Charge already forces out the Soul Resurgence from RAD, and Polly just says, okay, that's it. I'm just going to leave for a second then. We're going to win out over time inside the invisible boundary. Going to be difficult for Melio. Slowed on down. Supernova lays down a bunch of damage. But remember, if you can wait.
That's a lot of damage, chat. Oh, they res. They res. Oh, no.
Get taken down. They dive into a flame tornado.
That was a good res by Pokey.
With the Soul Bond, so much damage needs to be dealt with. Oh, Oh, big grab coming through from the side of Trust Me. Tanuki unable to be followed up upon, though. Just going to lose a little bit of time out on that uptime as Pokey still playing around the backside. Melio being hunted on down. Pokey so accurate.
They gotta get TP down. They have to TP down.
Hitting all of the hit scan shots that they need to. Trust Me, gonna possibly do this one alone. Rojaro's gonna be able to portal back just in time, and there's gonna be plenty of healing coming through from Sestroid with that drone rolling on through, running low on time now. Berber PATAPIM, only 45 seconds remain as Enzo takes to the skies, lays it down. LeBronzo strikes.
LeBronzo.
LeBronzo. I believe it's Polly of all people who gets that one done. Ground to air violence from the Captain America shows you air supremacy.
Fade's trying to stall it longer though. Fate of both worlds comes on through, just trying to bleed Berber PATAPIM, having to commit more resources which they don't have access to on the second. Freedom charge has been forced from the side of Polly. Rajara was able to pick.
Come on, man. Come on, Rad.
But this should still be Berber.
Come on, Rad. Come on, Rad. Take us to a game 5. Come on, Rad.
Wait a minute, they're turning it around.
They're turning it around, chat. Come on. This is good. This is good. This is good. Come on.
And Berber PATAPIM are losing players.
Come on.
It's clutch from Crooks.
Oh my god, they're doing it. They're doing it. They're doing it.
Not really on the cards right now. Tanuki going up against Melio. It's a duel.
He's not gonna have time. He's not gonna have time.
We're
going to another game. Good shit, Rad.
Extend the series and welcome.
Good shit, Rad. Yo, does anyone? Oh my. Oh.
Spider Island.
Oh, chat. Do you guys smell a reverse sweep cooking? Do you guys smell a reverse sweep cooking? That was a good hold. That was a really good hold. Melio was cooking, and Trust Me was cooking as well on that tank.
Emma can go aggressively forward with the frontline pressure. It looked rough. It looked really dicey, especially when that comic revival comes on out.
29 and 5 with 25,000 damage and 13 final hits. Yeah, bro. No, they cooked. They cooked.
The resurrection position on the inside.
They cooked, chat.
Especially given the fact that they've been holding on to Soul 1 to stabilize and then lead into the Galactic Legend recontest. But Team RAD are able to stagger their players massively onto the payload, even down the strange TP timing. And with just sheer amount of stubbornness and strategic ultimates, they hold themselves in the tournament.
Look, I'm just saying, having a Luna and actually being able to put some triage healing onto your Vanguard meant that Trust Me could do so much in that game. Like, if you keep your Emma Frost alive, your Emma Frost will deliver, I promise. And that seems to have been a real issue for Team RAD thus far. No surprise when Trust Me walks away with the MVP for this matchup in the first.
This guy's tracking and like game mechanics and awareness is fucking crazy.
To find Vi, right? She can be such a valuable Vanguard. She can be one of the best heroes.
You guys got to remember, and this is something that RAD needs to know. You might be down 3-0. Now you're 3-1 in a tournament trying to hit first place. The game might look very tough, or the game might look very hard right now, but you gotta always remember, when the game gets hard, you always gotta get harder. Just like life, chat. When life gets hard, you always gotta get harder.
In terms of how she gets to play, and that then impacts the amount of
and that should drive you to win the game.
That she's gonna be able to get off of carbon crushes because she's not gonna be in positions to utilize them. And we really got to see, Trust Me,
that was a good D.
Essentially, instead of just having to play.
You don't see a lot of good D. That was some good D by RAD.
You got to play aggressive, the way that you want your Emma Frosts to be in Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, let Trust Me play the game, maybe, and things start to turn around. I mean, honestly, what a glorious day to be a ResComp hater. The success rate at the moment is feeling real low. ResComp merchants is feeling real low.
Yeah, I mean, RAD are probably very beside themselves too, because they were able to get through that map, but they're gonna be finding themselves taking a little bit of a low.
I think they're gonna take a break right here.
Now, Berber PATAPIM get to decide which map we go to, Harry, and that was a convoy map. You know what that means, right?
Oh yeah, Hell's Heaven.
Domination's still around the corner, and it's likely gonna be a pivot over to Hell's Heaven almost immediately.
Yeah, if it's not Hell's Heaven, I will be flabbergasted. Maybe the Rocket Band has some legs, by the way. Respect the Ken Rocket. We'll see if it continues after this break.
I think, to be honest, completely honest with you guys, I think RAD needed that win. I mean, obviously they needed that win or they would have lost, but they need to stop Berber PATAPIM's momentum, bro. They just won the the finals in the lower bracket. They're coming off a very high right now. And they came into this tournament, the grand finals or the finals of this playoffs on a high, and they were using that high to just roll RAD. But hey, it's good that they stopped them. I feel like now we might see a different RAD, chat. I'm calling it right now. We might see a different RAD. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Woo. So you need to be harder than and high to win? What? Wait, what? I think that win was much needed for RAD though, chat. I think they're gonna be a little bit more calm, cool, and collected. I think it was good. They needed that win. I'm calling it right now. It's gonna be the shift in momentum. I would have been very disappointed if I saw a 4-0 in the finals, though. I would have been very disappointed. Let me see. All right. I did want to see a Jeff Nato though. That would have been kind of hilarious. We've seen some Jeff Natos. We've seen some Jeff Natos happen in the tournament. I don't think it's that hot. It's that good. I don't think so. Let's see. Wait, Armori is streaming right now. Nice. Dang, why so much hate for BRR PATAPIM? Who's hating? I don't think anyone in my chat's hating on BRR. I think we're just all cheering for RAD because we didn't want to see a team get 4-0'd in the finals. How am I hating on BRR? I was legit cheering for... That's bait. Bait used to be believable.
Managed to claw their way back
Bait used to be believable.
Activate for the first time in our grand finals.
True, but as we talked about, Harry, on the other side of the map win from Spider Islands, you flip the coin and it lands in BRR PATAPIM's palm, and that means they picked the map. Domination was not picked. It was a convoy map of Spider Islands that RAD took us to. So Hell's Heaven is going to be up next on the schedule, and that is BRR PATAPIM's self-confessed favorite and best map to play on.
Yeah, and this kind of makes banning cap/Psylocke.
It's okay, legit.
You can't go to
You're not a good baiter, bro. You're not a good masturbator.
They are
GG's, man. Chalk it up.
After we talked to Fate, after
I want to see BRR PATAPIMs against Sentinels. Make this happen, and I'll give you $100.
And Psylocke is at its best on.
I think that would be a lot of fun. Who wins? NA
or
EU?
Now we'll see if Naga is back in with a sticky move. Destroyed. Destroyed is a nasty
but hey,
Hella player.
BRR PATAPIM hasn't won yet, so like,
it seems as Destroyed
don't
is going to be staying
chat.
put.
RAD could be the winners.
Well, so too is staying the insta ban against Ken's Loki, and BRR PATAPIM once more keeping Magneto out of the midst of RAD. This time around, though, well, that's
that's actually a great question.
Puts even more pressure onto RAD to ban
whoever wins EU or EMEA, I'm gonna try to DM them to see if they're willing to do content with us. And if NA wins, I'm gonna try to take the NA game and see if they would play against each other for content.
You know, time to keep it 100 here. First protect coming through from RAD, gonna be the Emma Frost, and hopefully it's gonna get some good support behind it this time.
Yeah, RAD taking advantage of the fact that BRR PATAPIM don't get a save now until they're lost, which means that they can't try and block the Psylocke or the Captain America later. is Berber PATAPIM not going to be allowing RAD to get one-sided Loki. We now go into the two bans coming through at the same time. Tanuki is gonna get targeted.
Are you gonna pay them? Whoa, chat. Who the fuck do you think I am, bro?
All right, Wolverine off the table. Notorious Tanuki map for the Wolverine, but has enjoyed quite a bit of time on the Black Panther here. And this does kind of necessitate that RAD should use their last ban on either Cap or Psylocke.
Yeah, but one of them's making it through regardless.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna let the Cap go through, given now that they've saved the Wolverine and you can utilize the feral grabs onto the Vanguard. As Berber PATAPIM are gonna target out the Captain America coming on through from RAD's side, so their ability to bounce the point as well as pressure Berber PATAPIM's backline has been significantly reduced. As Berber PATAPIM see the Wolverine, think, okay, Cap might be a good play here. But do they go for the save of the Vanguard over the Psylocke?
Yeah, looks like they're going to go for that, knowing that they're going to have access to the Magneto as well, providing it's not banned out here. And there we go. Yeah, you cannot allow for both Cap and Psylocke to exist. For Berber PATAPIM, it's simply too difficult to deal with. Although, I imagine there was a world where maybe they wanted to ban out the Thing as well. But the option's too thin on the ground. Looks like Luna's going to make it through on both sides as well.
Tanuki's Panther makes it through too. As RAD
oh no, chat.
Over to the thing that you talked about.
Tanuki's Panther. I don't know. Do you guys think Tanuki's Panther is as good as Self's Panther though on Ego Death?
In that circular AoE, so that they can't utilize Earthbound and movement abilities. Pokey though is going to be going over to the Namor because I think they've read the Thing coming out from the other side.
I don't know. I feel like I would be.
Use them as pin
Self's Panther was scary.
Yeah, just that easy. I mean, you get your
like if I saw Self on the yellow team playing Black Panther, I'd probably shit myself.
Probably not the Vanguard player though. So it does look like they were going to be rolling out the Groot as well. So maybe you're trying to utilize the damage reduction from the Thing's jumps to give your other Vanguard a little bit more tankiness when it comes to surviving on that point.
Dude, you are the only streamer who has their ads cranked up to max. Why? I can't even tune into your stream.
I don't know about you, but
I don't know about you, but ads are usually run in between games, so you can actually watch the games, not just.
Let's see if I can deliver.
Yeah, like. Do you want me to run the ads in the middle of the game so you can miss the game, or do you guys want to see it when there's 3 minutes of a break? Come on, bro. Use your brain a little bit. I believe in you, man. You got this. I'm sure you could use that little brain.
Really, you Flavor is about to hit. And Flavor Town is going to be populated mostly by RAD here. First coming on through, Spirit Rend. Reset on the other side. Tanuki just with a little tap here and there. A love tap.
Or go watch the main broadcast. You can literally watch the main broadcast.
Fully. Has to worry about that Yentistry charge though. We see that it's
I just had 8 minutes of ads. Nice rage bait though. It's actually impossible to have 8 minutes of ads straight. The max amount of ads that you can get is 3. So nice rage bait. Don't try to argue me. Don't try to argue with me when I know Twitch more than you. Fucking idiot.
Okay, RAD are back, baby. And for those of you who haven't watched EU before, just disregard those first like 2 or 3 maps. You know, they're a real team. They're a real team, and they are really good.
Yeah,
I've been co-streaming this for 4 days, and I had 1 person complain about ads. 1 person, and it's on the last day, chat. Last day.
Alex has not been able to keep pace with the damage.
Anyways, let's go, RAD. I want to see RAD win, chat. I want to see this series continue, bro. I don't want to see this series be a 4-1.
Dive composition, but Enz has already had to utilize the Unbreakable Resolve, and that means that RAD's backline have a little bit more safety to wait out the cooldowns to come back through.
Okay, Rajara on deck to always use that Yentistry charge. The second that you hear that your backline is under pressure, you don't want to use to try and shut down Enzo. Instead, just relying on melee to shut that one down. Yet another excellent exile coming through. Our players are grabbed out of the Eternal Bond. A great response from Trust Me. Alex falls down, but there's still plenty of healing remaining for the remainder of Berber PATAPIM as they move on forward. Bash Descent ready to go. Melio finds Pokey. Ken falls off the map after the reset, and Berber PATAPIM are back to a drawing board.
Yeah, and all of the potential damage from Ken's Terror Cape is just mitigated by the fact that Radar
Oh, Melio's on the Wolverine, chat. That's what, dude. If there's one thing that I loved about this tournament is that it's the Wolverine players, bro. Bro, Wolverine is so fun to watch. I don't. It's just amazing.
Descent could be brutal. Forcing out a Soul Bond early would also be super valuable, and there it is. The Soul Bond used by Destroyed still has that Karmic Revival in the back pocket. It was going to be needed. However, with Crook channeling the Fate of Both Worlds, it's going to be unlikely. Rajara gets 3 stuns, 2 Vanguards, and
oh no, oh no.
Instantly
that was risky. I don't think he should have won that 1v1. I think he should have lost that.
Self-revival here from Destroyed in the midst of all of this. Yeah, that's going to be the Cocoon Revival. It's yet another Strangling Prison as well that claims Pokey. And here's the Revival as well. Destroyed doesn't want to give up any chances here, and while it might not be the optimal ult economy here for the remainder of RAD, having used that resurrection,
yo, they're coming back, chat.
First map of Hell's Heaven.
Yeah, RAD just could not.
We're coming back, baby.
Coming back on through. Fate was so close to the Eternal Bond that they sacrificed the entirety of Karmic Revival to bring him back, since he can't cocoon and revive himself. But like you said, that means that Karmic Revival has now been removed from play, at least for this fight, as BRR PATAPIM, we're swapping off. Instead of going for the Black Panther, Tanuki is going to go into a different form of dive, Human Torch being a hybrid between both dive and spam. And Pokey is thinking about the Hella to try and deal with
this is going to be crazy. Oh my god. Imagine the reverse sweep, chat. Imagine if there's a reverse sweep.
No.
It's happened before, chat. It's happened before.
To deal with as well, just eats so much poke off the back of that, and has no real means of interacting with the.
I have Twitch Turbo, and I sub to Jay, and I still get ads. Yeah, I turned on ads for my subs. I made it so there's 57 minutes per hour for my subs to get ads.
As Rajaro is going to be holding Melio aloft. Who is going to get grabbed out first? It's actually one of these flyers, as Pokey's actually out on the Iron Man.
Double flyer. I don't think we've seen too much of Pokey on the Iron Man.
Chat.
Skies, not that much of a vertical.
Oh, he got him!
I lied, by the way. Tanuki grabbed out there by Melio, feeling what Naga felt previously. A quick dunk, it just gets rid of the group walls there. Enzo didn't want to throw it in towards the midst of Team RAD for some reason. Fate on the off angle. Nasty play with the Terror Cape, delivering with the back.
Debo, appreciate that for 12 months, my friend. Can you imagine being an Iron Man and you're watching a Wolverine get thrown in the air, and then you watch him kidnap your friend that's also another flyer?
Incredibly low.
Bro.
The healing just isn't there. The strategists have been previously decimated, and BRR PATAPIM get control.
I do think Iron Man is a low-key slept-on pick.
Into double flyers. I think Trust Me's going to stick with the group for now, just so we can utilize Strangling Prison in this next fight. But
oh, Enzo is 0-4. Uh-oh. Come on, Enzo. You're not like that, bro.
Having that shield, mitigating some of the spam pressure coming on through, as well as giving yourself an umbrella to hide underneath for when that maximum pulse comes on out from Pokey's side once more.
Strangling Prison off the top rope, potentially. Trust me, he's already cooking, but his feeling is wood starting to get a touch cooked by the Human Torch in turn. Off from downtown. Oh, what an Aegis! Unbelievable play there from Polly. Read them like a book, baby.
Paul, what an insane play by Polly.
The bait and the switch works on out. And now BRR PATAPIM, they're just going to have to try and rescue Pokey. Big Sonic seduction coming on through. Multiple players need to be sustained here by Crook, but it's easy enough to do with a Lunar Snow ultimate. Now it's time for the Supernova to rain from on high. Melio, I believe, was just instantly impacted by the pulse cannon, perhaps in mid-air. Now the big threats coming through, and that's going to be the Punisher, the final judgment, laying down the damage. Polly can't escape too easily. Combined damage of
LeBron
Meteor and Alex's usage. Oh wow, the mid-air Spore Bomb. Okay, Trust Me, he's making up for a little bit of a fumble as RAD get control back.
He's already almost got another Strangling Prison from the damage that Trust Me was able to output onto
this they need to do something about Groot ult, bro. You get Groot ult. I think Groot ult is like one of the fastest ults in the game.
Dispatch with it, Strangling Prison, and grabbing everyone outside.
It's like a Zarya grab in Overwatch. Imagine if Zarya could like get ult the fastest in the game. That's scary.
The second at the right side of the AoE, and that's going to force the Eternal Bond immediately.
Yep, Eternal Bond used a little bit prematurely. Isn't even going to reach the point, by the way. That's going to be the Vanguards dragged on in. The healing cut off by the Ironwood wall. Enzo falls. Polly's able to get out with their life for now. But RAD still have all of the space they want to work with right here. A new invincible pulse cannon. Pokey says just in case they come up. I've got a little surprise for them.
Nah, RAD, they're not falling for it. They don't need to. Melia's gonna be able to scout out where everyone's setting on up, displays the information to the rest of the team. Rajara takes a little bit of spam pressure coming on first. That Fate and level 1 Crook can equalize ultimate charge to what Berber PATAPIM could potentially build in this next fight, as we do have to worry about the one shot. The pulse cannon is on the field for Pokey, but he's currently just not getting the confidence to use it. Good dodge of the Terror Cape with the terrain directly in front of him, but this Iron Man is still being focused.
Yeah, the Iron Man catching a bunch of poke here. A fully charged up, trust me, is going to be able to lay down loads of damage. Oh, it's a speculative invincible pulse cannon, but Pokey gets nothing.
Trust me, almost has ult again on Groot.
Easy follow-up here for Melio. Level 1 Crook gets temporarily controlled.
Oh, Enzo with the LeBron dunk. Okay.
Again, strikes home is the shutdown you've been waiting for, but a shutdown in their own right as Enzo is absolutely
wow, no, RAD is still taking the map. Oh my god, chat, we might be able to, we're seeing the dream stay alive. We're seeing the dream stay alive for RAD.
Got strangling prison the second that Berber PATAPIM all drop out of this strange portal. It has to be a shield block on the Groot ultimate, or this round is done. Supernova comes out from Tanuki. They look to try and shut it down immediately with Melio's Dance of the Butterflies, and Berber PATAPIM just don't have the place to soak it. Out comes Ken with the Eternal Bond, keeping the place, keeping the team in this fight, and Sestrad gets taken down.
Yeah, level 1 Crook's got a good angle from above, but Berber PATAPIM just being able to break out of there was so important. Like you said, Tanuki got instantly shut down there by the Butterflies and by the Strangling Prison as well, but 2 ults for 1, not the ideal trade.
He's back on the Panther. Rajara is back on the thing immediately to counterplay it. Trust me, he's trying to build up the next Strangling Prison, knows that Berber PATAPIM are down defensive ultimates. RAD want to make an inroad into this fight and quickly.
Enzo got to be careful about the disengagement path here. Yet again, has the Meteor M good to go. Is out farmed, destroyed here. Melio around the back, looking to see if anyone gets grabbed out by the Psionic Seduction. The strategist about to look around, destroyed once again. Oh my goodness, I think Trust Me just got frozen out of their ultimate.
Oh my god, Alex!
Survive yet another freeze.
Oh my god!
Berber PATAPIM on 99% with everything they need to turn this one around. Yeah, you see the ults get cancelled. They've played these games before. And there's just no time for the portal.
Alex is the savior, the hero of the hour, not just being able to freeze. Trust me, out of the Strangling Prison.
Dude, RAD
been burned too, taking Sestro down so that the Groot doesn't have to worry.
Loma for 102 months. Absolutely wild. I appreciate it. RAD had that victory in the bag, and then they fumbled it. Oh, what a freeze, dude. Alex with a massive freeze was crazy.
Coming on through from the back line. Ken and Alex really just trying to make sure that Berber PATAPIM do not lose the win rate of Hell's Heaven.
It's their best map for a reason. They're uniquely suited to the geography.
Frozen Airfield is the next and last round of Hell's Heaven's rotation. This is an easier map for dive too. Lots of verticality, many off-angle routes. And you can see that RAD are anticipating that Black Panther to be sticking around for a little bit longer, but Tanuki is off of it. He's on to the Star-Lord. Pokey has also swapped over to the Winter Soldier to try to bionic hook either Sestrad or Melio when they try and show up too.
Eyes on Rajaro early, confirm that they indeed made the right choice here. Rajaro does not want to send the Wolverine after the Star-Lord. Would not be the smartest matchup for the little mutant. Here we go towards the back. Speculative for now. Wants to try and grab Tanuki, who's being so evasive up here, but at the moment it's all distractionary gameplay. Tanuki's just an amusing side.
Did he get frozen again? No. He got frozen after he shot it. Oh my god.
The solo focus is not enough. Ken got the value there out of the Eternal Bond. This is plenty of sustainability for Berber PATAPIM into the Dark Force dimension. The clobbering time takes Enzo low, and that's a great delivery of a Terror Cape as well to make sure the follow-up is good.
Yeah, Rajara just perfectly timing the spacing of that Dark Teleportation ending to catch everyone from BP as they drop out of it into the Thing's ultimate. Sustroid now is going to be holding on to the last stand too, but you do have to worry about Berber PATAPIM. The ultimates that they have coming up into this next fight is going to be delay strategies from RAD so they can build up level 1 Crux Fate of both worlds to match wits with the Kraken impact.
Oh, Melio spotted it. What a grab coming through. That's both Stellar Shifts now used. But in the 2v1, Tanuki still grabs Melio. What's the deal with that? Looking in onto Fate now. This may well force out the fate of both worlds. And indeed, it does. Aggressive plays down on Melio. They need to be made. Berber PATAPIM are lying in wait, though, with plenty of ultimates in their own right. LeBronzo, can he deliver again? Not in this case, it would seem. But Tanuki finds the low Fate and brings them up. The low tape of Fate in this case gets destroyed as Polly racks the nerves of the back line, and this should be Berber PATAPIM getting their first flip.
And not a single duelist ultimate invested either, which means in this next fight, Pokey, just the way we saw Kraken Impact CC immunity frames being used to dodge Eye of Agamotto earlier, can use it. Oh, never mind.
I think that
Cannot
might have
use
been a
it
reset
to dodge
or a
Strangling
fat
Prison.
finger.
That is an unfortunate timing of an ultimate press.
Oh boy, our Pokey's going to be kicking himself for that one, but it's okay. Still super winnable here for Berber PATAPIM off the back of just the Galactic Legend. Trust me, once again, going to be very careful of this Aegis shield from Enzo. Sees Tanuki up above, knows that a solo wall over there is a little bit too risky. In towards the back, that's both of the strategists grabbed on in, and it's absolutely clinical from Trust Me. Destroyed, swapped over, yeah, onto the Adam Warlock, so the Soul Bond was instantly available to deal with Tanuki's ultimate. Beautiful play from RAD.
Yeah, especially because they heard Pokey use Kraken Impact on the point itself. Fate's going to have Eternal Bond for free too, so we can make an aggressive play with Psionic Seduction from Rajaro and mirror the sustain that Ken can bring to the table. Tanuki is going to go over to the Black Panther off of the Star-Lord, is still going to be able to receive the 35% trickle heal coming on through, but RAD aren't allowing Berber PATAPIM any passage through the chokes. They come in early. Dance of the Butterflies, carpeted up by the Eternal Bond on the point, and Berber PATAPIM, all of the ultimates that they had just got forced.
Eternal Bond equally forced out here. Tanuki around the back does not want to deal with a full charge Emma beam. At least just going to catch a little bit of poke coming through from the Eternal Bond. On the chase right now. Pokey finally has built up yet another Kraken Impact, but do they have the damage to try and convert here onto Trust Me? No. The healing's going to be good. The fate of both worlds has been deployed. RAD might get it done on Berber PATAPIM's preferred map. Destroyed can't afford to fall. They need that resurrection. Enzo gets multiple plays here off the back of the Sonic Seduction, but gets isolated by the walls that Trust Me's erected behind them. And that's going to be an attempted bash descent. Tanuki's gonna get done.
There's no way, bro. The Black Panther chat.
The Karmic Revival's good to go. Destroyed knows that their location has been found, though. They've lost him in the midst of all of this. It's going to be a last-second contest from Rajaro. Destroyed has resurrected themselves, coming back off the back of the TP. Destroyed has decided to call it.
Okay, hey, not over yet. Not over yet.
PATAPIM to have to follow him in case it was a revive into the Karmic Revival. And now Tanuki on that Black Panther is going to be looking to try and figure out where exactly that Adam Warlock is setting on up. Rajaro back onto the Thing because the Black Panther's in play. It's chess into checkers, and only one of these teams can come out on top.
Tanuki wraps the back. Has himself a spinning kick to play with multiple players. Are managing to avoid that incoming damage. Soul Bond already used as we roll on forward. Melio has grabbed one. Ken's down as well. There's no healing on the board for Berber PATAPIM. They're gonna have to get it done.
Oh, someone was wondering when are they ever gonna see Hella. Here's your Hella.
It's pumping out the damage, but it might be overwhelming because still the healing can be delivered by RAD. It's a flip over in their favor. A last chance saloon.
Here's your Hella. Someone wanted to see Hella. There's your Hella.
It has to be Pokey coming in from one side and Tanuki from the other. Up to the sky goes the Goddess of Death, but no one's on the point. RAD steal away Berber PATAPIM's best map.
Tanuki just
wait, that was Berber PATAPIM's best map. Oh yeah, it was because they were 3-0.
Goddess of Death
bro,
you above the points so you don't count as contesting.
Bro,
and RAD 2 maps loss in a row now.
I told you I told you, chat. Last round was the most important round for RAD because if they won that round, they're gonna stop Berber Patapim's momentum. They stopped the momentum and they were able to get the next game. So now it's 2
hits. And Rajaro just on this constant merry-go-round of trying to shut down what Tanuki was bringing for the table. I believed for a moment when Pokey picked up those 3 frags, man. I was like, okay, is it going to be another one of those? Is it going to be another one? The end of a VP series once again for Pokey. But the damage was already done. It was a great setup from Trust Me. Yet another fantastic strangling prison.
Yeah, and a great read as well from RAD coming on through. They know that Galactic Legend is in play on Frozen Airfield, swapping Cestroid onto the Adam Warlock just so they don't have to build up an ultimate to deal with the Star-Lords. They can literally just hit the shift button,
where's
have
Baby Boy?
everyone tank the damage all together, nice and cozy on the point, which allows them all of the follow-through on to Trust Me as well. And they can still have Fate with the Terror Cave connecting onto everyone who got scooped up by the group.
I actually have never...
Unbelievable scenes here. RAD far from dead. They refuse to go quietly into that good night. And with $250,000 on the line, who would? This is what this team was built for. We had our graphic before the matchup. Mox, this team has never been the #1. They've never been the big winner. They got 4th in MRC Season 0, 4th at the Marvel Rivals Invitational, 2nd at MRC Season 1. They've always had the talent. They've always had the perseverance, but they've never had the results, and it felt like once again they were doomed to that 2nd place. But when the chips are down, RAD have said that no, we refuse to lose again.
Do we see as well the results of Hell's Heaven putting now a new strain on the pick and ban system?
Damn, bro. J3, have you ever been naked on camera before? What kind of question is that? If I was, I'd be banned right now.
We even saw in the past when these 2 teams went head-to-head, Adam Warlock as a ban started becoming a thing for the side of
How bad is your vision, by the way? The lenses on your glasses look big. -5 and -5.25.
Feel like we're going to be seeing a new adaptation on the other side of this break.
It's got to be convergence. Break.
You want to take over my stream? I gotta go to the bathroom. No. Well, the problem is I have...
A gift from Khonshu.
Okay, chat. I'm gonna be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Not bad.
Jay's gonna... No. It's not gonna be that long. It's not gonna be that long. I need you guys... Oh, do you want to take the rest of this food? I think I ate too much. That's why I have to go to the bathroom.
Some good, honest, soul-to-the-earth, blue-collar Marvel rivals. A 3-2 scoreline. Mox, it always had to go this way. None of that 4-0 stuff happening here in EMEA. The reverse sweep dream is alive, and it's real.
Yeah, it has been revived, you could say, much like RAD utilizing the Karmic Revival. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a very different advanced pick and ban system come on through as we head to this next map, which will be Convergence, and it's going to be Central Park. I don't know who's going to be able to take it though, Harry, because both of these two teams, it feels like they're starting to really understand the strategies of the other.
Yeah, we really are starting to see these teams come online and get the download done. But for PATAPIM, every single map we go deeper into this series is longer that they've been playing at the top of their ability. Fatigue may become an issue as we get into match 6 of our
One of the cats
series.
threw up, and then Boba was running and then slid on the floor into the throw up.
They did manage to take away Hall of Jalia earlier, which was the first time they'd won on that map. But for PATAPIM, that might weigh on them a little bit there. Historically, their results here have not been great.
Rub his paws?
Yeah, I would agree. When you're looking at the statistics, you do definitely raise an eyebrow. But I think for PATAPIM, like, if you thought that they were weak on Convergence, they'll have been working on Convergence, right? It's just the way that we saw Virtus.pro every single time they found an issue, they worked away at it for like a week, just full target focusing on that in scrims and coaching sessions. And I feel like BRR have been doing the same thing, because when we saw them earlier in Hall of Jalia, they did not look like the weaker team on this map type.
Yeah, they did not look like they were hopeless on Convergence by any means at all. I feel like the real shift thus far, though, has been in Trust Me being able to actually play the game. Once Trust Me gets online, things get a lot more complicated.
Well, that's going to be getting complicated. Both teams instant panic out the Loki, which means that PATAPIM will also be able to get the instant save onto the Lunar Snow, and RAD can now start targeting out the Vanguard's likely going to be a Captain America, or maybe they go for that Psylocke yet again. No! Punisher off of the rip this time around.
Maybe attempting to even bait in the cap Psy. It would be wishful thinking, that much is for certain. A quick protect onto Trust Me's Emma wouldn't go awry. Of course, you're rarely going to see Trust Me's Groot catch a target ban in this day and age. Maybe there's one where you could ban out Tanuki's Wolverine, though, so that it constantly remains a threat.
I think as well, if you secure the Emma Frost, like, it is going to be tough if both teams go res comp route, but you're anticipating Enzo wants something like over the Hulk or the Venom to be able to just dive into the back line.
RAD has an 85% win rate on Convergence.
The team to get what they want
done. I wasn't even in the bathroom. I had to wash my cat's claw, bro. I literally came back to tell you guys that.
As PATAPIM remove the Psylocke from RAD's side, RAD notably not going for either the Psylocke or the Captain America or the Luna as of yet.
Likely going to be a Mirror Punisher ban here. Choice to try and take out, Polly. Yep, there they go. And now the question is, if you are PATAPIM, do you want to protect the Wolverine in your own right and have an unequal Wolverine gradient?
Yeah, taking Melio's Wolf off of the board does make it a little bit harder for the Flyers to get looked at too. If PATAPIM want to put Tanuki onto the torch in case this Wolverine does get banned out, as RAD are going to be able to secure Lunar Snow for themselves too before we go into the next ban phase for PATAPIM. This is going to give us a really good insight onto what they want to utilize and what they put stock onto removing.
I feel bad for your toilet.
Do they want to get the thing, or do they want to target out the Adam Warlock?
I do feel bad actually for my toilet. Oof.
I mean,
Yo, Cozy Gamer, I appreciate the massive prime sub, my friend.
Torch when Naga's not in.
Wait, how you doing? How you doing?
It is going to be.
Love the casting, by the way. I hope everything's going well. Hope everything's going well.
They were going for this. They didn't go.
I don't know how you managed.
The resurrections have been troublesome.
To stay
having to actually maneuver the thing into a position where he doesn't just eat a ton
yesterday.
of
I was dying.
And then have to remove himself from the fight entirely. It's a little bit harder to do on Central Park, especially on your attack.
I appreciate it. That is crazy.
We're going to see RAD think about the Psylocke, remove the Emma yet again, so no.
What time are the NA games? The NA games are supposed to start at 7, 6, 7.
With a Lunar
Yeah, I don't. Wait, you guys went to 4 a.m. How? I saw the match. I was. It was like what 3:30 or 3:10, and as soon as they won, I turned my stream off. I skipped the interview. I went to bed.
Have someone who can keep Trust Me up. And Trust Me is kind of delivering right now. Really seems to be the difference maker on the 2 maps that we've seen won by RAD.
Difference maker as well on this map. Magneto is in play for both teams. So we are going to be seeing Cloak and Dagger on the field, but you do have Bulwark to protect against the one-shot potential when you're mid-Eternal Bond dash. And we have also counterplay against things like the Tanuki Wolverine, with the Bulwark being used in case the Vanguard does get grabbed on out early.
All the post-show shit kept us up.
There's going to be a difference in those projections being
damn, that sucks, man.
Team having
you probably slept well.
Their Magneto. So for now,
also, chat, I don't know if you guys read the bottom of the thing, but it said RAD is 1-0 on this map, and Berber Patapim has never played on this map.
We can see pocketing right now. Melio on the Human Torch as he looks to just get as much poke and spam into Berber Patapim as they can. Enzo is indeed on the Hulk that we expected, which means that Trust Me is going to have their hands full in terms of targets for Carp and Crush.
Oh yeah, and Melio is going to have their
exactly,
their
Keith. Exactly.
When it comes to extra occupants of this airspace as well. And here he comes. Going to be an attempt to dodge away. Nicely played. Crook already falls down, though, to Pokey. A great opening here for the Psylocke. And this is going to be next up. Yeah, Rajaro on the docket. All the way into a backline.
Oh, my God.
Real complicated. Might be able to use their Sonic projection to get out. No, not going to be on the cards right here. This could be cooked already.
Huge bait and switch from Berber Patapim.
I love this, bro.
Radford was going to be a target dive onto Melio, but in actual fact, it was Pokey setting up the hit onto level 1 Crook. And Berber
I love the Wolverine gameplay, chat.
Triple strategist composition in a matter of moments. So that's right off of the Ultron isn't in time with the strange teleport, and Fate getting picked.
Hey, for the first time on this map, they capped first point really fast. That's a W. Jay, I need you to get on the Rivals podcast, bro. Love that you're watching all of it. Yeah, for sure. Just hit me up. I got you.
At the moment, the Mantis hater in me is saying that maybe you don't get as much value out of it here if you're RAD. I'd love to see Force Physics to try and shut down Tanuki and to give Melio that team up.
Zooted! Appreciate that as a prime sub, tier 1 sub as well, my friend.
A little bit easier in terms of the neutral, but you do sacrifice sustainability for the ultimate. Melio goes for the dive. They've been able to pressure out Enzo, but it comes at the cost of Trust Me. No one was helping out the Emma Frost and the Lunar Snow Mirror.
Yeah, the Emma got aggressive.
Oh my God.
Over there. Did not see that one coming.
Oh my God, dude.
Yes, but the remainder of the team remains unfrozen. This is an absolute masterclass in momentum.
Yeah, it feels like RAD are just getting separated, split at the moment.
I got you.
Pivot to look at the Hulk, and Berber
There's only one kill on RAD Esports team. It's Melio with 1 kill.
Damage elsewhere, and it will permanently stick. Out comes the Diamond from Trust Me. Soul Resurgence invested from level 1. Crook forces Ken's Eternal Bond out, and Berber Patapim are more than happy to make that trade.
Okay, Soul Resurgence used, Destroyed falls through the cracks, the healing not quite enough when compared to what Pokey's bringing to the table. Melio starts raining down fire tornadoes and might be able to find the backline here. They need to take out Ken, and indeed the fire tornado delivers in this case. Tanuki takes out Crook, but not much more than that. Fate next up on the docket to try and get sliced on through, but damage too much to bear. Destroyed needs to use their ultimate here to try and sustain the remainder of the team. It's going to take so long for Crook to come on back though, and Melio falls to Enzo in the midst of all of this. Must have been grabbed out of the air. What a great play coming through from Enzo. Oh, there's the attempt at the teleport coming through as well from Ken. Enzo just put down for a nap for now. RAD still keep it contested. It must be
Oh my God.
And Enzo says no one.
Oh my God. On controller, chat, which is even insane.
Well, RAD are able to find 2. But the unbreakable resolve comes out from Enzo.
They have never played this map, and they're in the last phase with 5 minutes.
RAD managing to overlap both
What's up, Kitty?
Freedom Charge and Rage of Ultron from Rogero and Sastroid. Now it means that they're down ults in this next engagement. It's going to have to be a stack up and try and absorb the damage that Pokey can output, but that means that their position is forced. They're not going to be that to prevent the distance picked up for Convoy.
Yeah, and stacking together can be ruinous when LeBronzo's on the other side, or well, Polly in this case on the other side. with a Meteor M. May not have got as much respect as Enzo just yet, but hello, level 1 Crook didn't be catching a bunch of this damage. Forces the Soul Resurgence. Polly looking for a victim. Fate manages to dodge away. Great usage of escapes right there to make sure they manage to stay well out of the AoE. Melio wants to cook from behind. Enzo's going to be in a little bit of trouble after being slept up, but you don't want to try and commit too hard onto Polly after all this. Pokey gets their sentient seized, and that means there's no way to try and avoid the rage of Ultron that's being ran on down by Cestroid here. And finally, with the buildings being reformed, good choke points here for RAD to try and play off.
Yeah, but BRR can push on through with an Eternal Bond. Supernova comes on through from Melio, but the exile from Enzo! The torch almost gets cooked. Fate bails them out with the fate of both worlds, but BRR PATAPIM have been able to break through,
chat.
and they've still got a last stand.
Oh, nice kidnap.
Enzo
I got a
gets
kitty
it
on me
done
now.
again, grabs him out the air, the intercept, Fate still, the Ice Arts, the Cleaver so difficult to deal with, Unbreakable Guard is going to be part of this. Fate's just getting stuck in over here, and it's built space, yes, for Trust Me, but Fate has had to sacrifice themselves to try and make it work. But oh, no way, no, you stop right there, Cap. Freedom is not going to reign today. Enzo is on one right now.
Exile into Slam, into Exile once more. Enzo's Hulk is terrifying right now. It feels like they have an army just off of this one Vanguard alone. And RAD are going to be feeling their backs against the wall literally in a matter of moments as they've run out of room to disengage.
Far from running out of time, though, on the side of BRR PATAPIM. Still 2.5 minutes. Already going to be the Sonic subduction coming on out from Trust Me. Needs to find some victims over towards the back. Maybe it could be Polly who's overwhelmed, but Alex still has plenty of healing for all and sundry inside of that Fate of Both Worlds. Tanuki maybe looking for a knock off the edge. It certainly would be a lot of value. Big Terror Cape coming through onto BRR PATAPIM. Polly needs to be overwhelmed. Uses the Meteor M instantly.
Everyone's playing Marvel Rivals, and Enzo is playing Street Fighter.
Through the dance
A Pokey.
Pokey gets their one and then cancels it early. Melio just up against the world all by themselves. Will punish Pokey, but can they get much more than this is the question. Everyone else simply hides away and forces everyone forward. A quick portal from Crook over just a couple of feet, but can you even get on through
Oh,
here? The
no.
body block is too
Oh, no.
strong.
Oh, no,
PATAPIM
chat.
say, yeah, we're still Convergence demons.
Chat, this might be the end for RAD. This might be the end for RAD. BRR PATAPIM, first time playing this map in the tournament, pushed it all the way to the end.
Take of the first, and then just converted into
with 2 minutes remaining.
Stagger pick in the second. RAD managed to find their footing, but it was at the
With
very
2 minutes
end
remaining.
of B, and even then there was still stumbles.
I think this might be the GGs.
So much time to play
I think
with.
this might
Plus,
be the
RAD felt like they had
GGs.
to go aggressive, overextend into BRR PATAPIM's own front line, and that just meant that Enzo and the Hulk had an absolute field day.
I'm legitimately begging you to play Lunar Cloak and Dagger or Lunar Invis.
What do you mean don't pull a Sentinels? Sentinels win!
Surely we have to see an Invis.
I mean, Crook has actually
Surely,
put
at
out a
some
Oh,
lot of
you mean
healing,
Sentinels
it's
when they
true.
lost this map, actually.
It
No,
feels
when they
Destroy's
capped with like
having a lot of
4
trouble
minutes
getting
remaining and they
value,
lost.
even
Yeah, I
out of a
remember that.
Damage boosted Ultron.
I mean, it feels like they're going for the approach of the Hulk can't hurt us if we hurt the Hulk before he reaches us. But there's the Invis coming on out. Coming on through from level 1, Crook at the sacrifice of the Mantis, and Cestroid now without that Mantis is off of the Ultron.
I mean, to be honest with you, Terra on Wolverine is just...
Enzo just gets absolutely
I don't know. I would rather go into the ring with prime Mike Tyson than play a match against Terra.
Big control.
I can take on Mike
Onto the
Tyson.
Hulk.
I can't take Terra.
I'm actually a big fan of this pivot here. Maybe not going to be quite as much healing going the way of Trust Me without the Luna, but it is going to allow for a lot more shutdown on the Hulk.
Yeah, not just that, but on Tanuki on the Wolverine too. He's already forced out, and that was Bork as well, forced to make sure that he gets out safely. The Carbon Crush is there. He doesn't have the cooldowns, but Enzo still grabs Melio first.
Oh, that's a big Terror Cape onto almost all of RAD. BRR PATAPIM are quick to try and follow up on the other side of it. Pokey rolls on forward. Those wing shurikens really are doing some work right here. Another throw? I doubt it at this point. Tanuki just gets
Is
off
100
that one.
Ds also
Unbreakable
going to
Barrier
China?
will get
Yes.
everyone out.
Yeah, they just utilized the fastball team up to get Tanuki into the Hulk's hands without him having to burn the Pharaoh Lunge and potentially get taken down, crossing back to his players. He's still going to be up and about. Melia has been able to finally break around the first corner. Gets a little bit of balding to hide behind as well as utilizing Pyro Prison to put pressure on the point itself. And Sastroid has the room, the space to come in with the final judgment. And he gets the
Polly
shield.
missed. Oh, but they still were able to kill him.
To keep him safe from Meteor Ram.
The invisible boundary wasn't brought up in time. Destroyed is lost him amidst all of this. Alex tries to get a handle on things here with the fate of both worlds as Pokey disengages, comes in from a new angle, a brand new plan. The plan is likely going to be the dance of the butterflies right here. Look at this in the back line though. Trust me, he's getting a little bit frisky. An attempt to try and cut Rad in half. Crook can't afford to take yet another slice. Meteor M in the tiny corridor. Can it be dropped down upon someone? Yeah, onto Ken. Straight onto their face, but Polly strikes back on the other side. Enzo's
that guy's not gonna die.
Polly's super low. Yeah, the metallic bulwarks onto themselves, but if you're in a corridor with a Hulk, I think I saw this scene in Avengers, and it didn't end well for the non-Hulk parties.
He lived with 57 health. Wow.
Ken with the strange portal directly onto
chat. This might be bad.
And punish BRR PATAPIM as they come back onto that point itself, and he hasn't been able to build up the final judgment as well through the pressure that they've been able to place the Punisher through. Dark teleportation has to be used from Fate just to close the distance a little bit sooner so they can take the brawl fight, but no one clicked Tanuki.
Oh, the invisible boundary came up, but it was simply a little bit too late. Tanuki grabbed with the carbon crush. Plenty of healing coming through from Alex. Fate of both worlds keeps them sustained. Trust me, tries to drag them to the edge, but it's just a reset beta amidst of all of this. 1 minute 20 remain for Rad.
Fate needs to build the eternal bond. Sastroid's final judgment has to be absolutely gigantic for Rad to be able to have any chance of continuing in this tournament. But the longer they wait, the sooner BRR PATAPIM build their own defensives. Pokey hears noise, thinks that Melee could potentially be flanking around that left side and almost catches the torch.
Enzo loses their Hulk form though. Down to Puny Banner. And Puny Banner's not that good at holding back the tides of Rad. Trust me, he's getting a little bit frisky here. Polly needs a rescue, but it's not quite in time. Ken gonna be faced with the huge damage coming out of the Punisher right now. But it seems like everyone's managed to find themselves some good cover. Good knock through there onto Tanuki just to force out that passive, but you won't get much more than that. It's Melia who has to clean it up on the backside. Pokey starts to work the margins, has themselves
okay, hey, we still got a game, chat. We still got a game.
3 minutes.
We still got a game. Rad is still in this.
Maybe utilizing that
Rad
ultimate,
is
but the
still
anchor
in this.
falls with Enzo, and you don't count as contesting in your Dance of Butterfly form. So BRR PATAPIM decide to pack it in and keep it in the back pocket to have for this next fight, taking advantage of the fact that Rad do not have a defensive ultimate. Level 1 Crook close to the invisible boundary, but if you can bait it with the Psylocke, Tanuki gets a go-ahead for the last stand, or they just use it now and force Rad to have to stack.
Melia almost got environmentally
Wait, did they stack
Incredibly
supportals?
lucky to have survived this one. Pokey has to be careful around these
No,
flames.
no.
It's getting a little bit hot under the collar over
No,
there.
no, they
Regarding
didn't.
Alex,
I
hoping
thought that's what
that
they
there's
meant.
going to be some healing available. Enzo just has to move their way after Ratatoska. Oh, they can start knocking him back here. Oh, this could be in perfect little bit of stagger onto Enzo. It's going to be an undermanned recontest.
Uh-oh, chat. It looks like Rad might make it to the last point.
Invisible boundary. Rad surely thinking about the Wolverine. He's in. He gets carbon crushed.
Oh, the carbon crush to shut it down. There's still a last stand to try and play with. On top of Destroyed and Crook's down as well. What seemed like the greatest opportunity for Rad has been stolen away from them by Tanuki, Polly, and Pokey in concert.
Alex as well, quite literally.
Wow, what a hold.
I
I actually did not think they were going to be able to touch that.
They get the carbon crush onto Tanuki. They don't get the pickup of the back of it. The Luna keeps them fully healed on up. And the last stand comes
I did not
on
think
through.
that BRR PATAPIM was
Quite
going to touch that.
fight for Rad in terms of hopes for the tournament.
I hope
As
this team
Sastroid
gets
is gonna be
signed.
coming on out with that final judgment. Rosario going to have the Meteor M2 to try to cover for him. It's going to be up to Polly to shut this one down this time.
It's got to be shut down. Enzo has themselves their world breaker Hulk, and he's been doing absolute bits with it so far. Destroyed with the final judgment. Could be everything. Rojaro wants to try and shut this one down.
Le Brick, chat. Le Brick. Le Brick, bro.
needs to hide behind the Aegis. A shell of shields, a survivability onion to keep Franklin Castle gunning them down. And while there may be a last stand coming through from the Dance of the Butterflies, it's going to come down to a certified Hulk classic to try and bring Enzo the value. Up against the world destroyed. He's just slapped away by a backhand there. The dueling glove hits the back, and that's going to be a full completion of second as we head to third.
The fortification of Frank Castle from RAD is too good. Berber,
I don't think they have this, bro. I don't think they have this. They only have 2 minutes, bro. Berber, even if they cap this chat, Berber, I don't know. We did see 100 Thieves beat Sentinels on this map yesterday.
With only a minute and a half on the clock, all Berber PATAPIM need is one fight to go their way, and all of the momentum that RAD come through with get drained entirely.
One good fight, bro. Just one good fight. A little bit of free rage gathered off the back of that flame. Melio grabbed by Pokey. Oh man, Pokey's had such a day already. An attempt to try and shut down Fate was grabbed off the map. Manages to disengage from a carbon crush as well. Everything has gone wrong for RAD. They had the momentum, but they did nothing with it.
That wasn't even an ultimate that comes on through from the side of PP. They get to hold on to the last stand and the Dance of the Butterflies. 1 minute remaining. RAD still not able to swap over to the Doctor Strange. And Enzo throws himself off of the map so that he can get a faster reset.
Yep. Necessary. Won't take long to get back with those incredible leaps. Tanuki just hiding in the corners for now has been discovered. Oh, the supernova. Great play off the back of the force physics there to rescue Millia when he needed it the most. Flame Cyclones in towards the back. They desperately want Ken and they're going to find him, but now Millia has to worry about Enzo on the other side. Pokey coming in through as well. Tanuki can't get themselves the feral leap. A double carbon kick from Trust Me to shut down the RAD defense.
RAD still holding on to the final judgment.
Oh my god, where's he going, chat? He's exploring the map. Wait, there's no way. He made it back to spawn. What the fuck? Okay.
This objective all the way from the finish line. Out comes the final judgment. The CC immunity. The bulwark is there. Where's Tanuki?
Approaching too difficult right now.
Paulie!
Paulie gets two! Destroyed and Crook and Pokey's there. A dance
Paulie and Pokey! Oh my god, GG's chat.
They may have been stretched to their limits. They may be on their 11th map of the day, but they refuse to lose to
GG's.
RAD, and they take home $70,000.
Oh my god. Yo, Leg Day has some energy to him, bro. Leg Day, when some team wins, he has a lot of energy.
On top of every single team that Marvel Rivals Ignite has to throw at them. And Paulie is the
Berber PATAPIM is the only team that was not signed, I think, in the finals here.
Shut down the invisible boundary.
And they fucking won it all.
Back into that fight immediately.
Oh, what value there. Just grabbing everybody in with the last stand and making it an easily served up dish for Polly to pound with the meat tenderizer of the
How much was the prize? $70,000. The losing team got $35,000.
Showing just how strong
so it's about a $35,000 difference.
Enzo was getting bits done on the Hulk.
But they are going to China.
He went down 5 times despite being arguably a walking hitbox. We can have a look now at some of the replay highlights brought to you. Tanuki is going to be the star of the show.